I'll do the countdown.
Okay.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can definitely tell the latency's better just from that.
Yeah,
Like,
it's 10 times better.
Well, like, by the time that you start clapping, I'm already at, like, 7, 8.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, so...
Damn.
You were only, like, one clap behind me this time, and I always have a fucking problem whenever I'm trying to sync it up later on, so I think this will be better.
Yeah, because it's honestly sounds like a much more normal conversation for me as well. It's really funny.
I think the last episode, I synced it up poorly where, like, you were really quick to respond whenever I was talking, and it took me, like, 2 seconds whenever I tried to respond. It made it seem like I was really slow, and I was like, let me think about everything you're saying. Like, Ben, how was your weekend? And then there'd be, like, a kind of, like, a pause, and be like, it's good, you know?
Oh, shit.
Alright, welcome to episode 30! Episode 30 of We Can't Code, So We Criticize. Guys, this is
30.
It is episode 30. I can't believe that. How has this happened? Episode 30.
We're just very determined.
We just won't take no for an answer, whether that's good or not. People have told us, stop, don't do it, please. You're hurting yourself.
We get contacted by YouTube on a daily basis, and they just constantly tell us to stop. Even though we only post weekly videos, they just keep on contacting us, which is very funny.
The only comments we get on these podcasts are like suicide prevention hotline numbers and like self-help and everything, and people are like, you just stop it, you're killing you know.
It's kind of funny too, because YouTube, like, everyone tries to reach YouTube, but they never respond back, but they just immediately reach out to us, and all it is that they send in their email is stop, please stop, and that's it. There's no replies, there's no anything else. It's just please stop. It's very weird.
Yeah, no, they hear our cry for help, which is great. All right, if you're unfamiliar with this podcast, let me jump back into this. If you're unfamiliar with this podcast, this is a weekly video game podcast between two friends when we share some biased opinions. Typically, we have some good overlap and some good non-overlap, but I'd say there's a pretty good mix in there.
Yeah, I agree. Not really, but sort of. See, right there.
My name is Ben.
I'm Michael.
And
this
I feel
is
like whenever I say that, fuck, that's what I was trying to avoid. I paused because I knew I was gonna fucking say, and this is We Can't Code. And I was like, I don't want to just fucking repeat the name of the show over and over again. Like, where's the content?
Well, you gotta put it in their minds. You know, they'll remember it.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just gonna keep repeating it as you're talking. I'm just gonna keep whispering into the microphone. We Can't Code. We subscribe and like. You know,
please hit that bell. I don't know what the bell does. You know what? I hit the bell once and like one YouTuber, and my mailing box got just flooded with just constant posts in there. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna unclick that bell.
The subscription bell?
Yeah, that thing. It basically just says, "Oh, you can email me when every single time they do something." I'm like, I don't like that. That's why I subscribe.
Who are you following? That's like saying it's okay. Like email me in your free time.
No, it just tells me. YouTube tells like, oh, they posted a new video up, and that's all the email is about. I'm like, yeah, let's not do that. And so I just immediately just unclick that bell.
I started to subscribe to people. I was severely against it until about a year ago. And
Really?
It's actually not bad.
I like subscribing to people because then they just go to my subscription page and it just shows me who I'm following has a new video. It's kind of...
Yeah.
People say, oh, it never shows me when their video is up. I'm like, really? I've never run to that issue once in my entire life with YouTube. And I primarily only watch YouTube videos. That's like my main entertainment. And every single person I've subscribed to, all their videos show up in my subscription when they uploaded it. Yet they go up and things like, oh yeah, sorry if they don't show up in your subscription. I'm like, you do. I think it's honestly most people just trolling at this point. But that's just me.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, I think it's funny because I've never had that issue once in my entire life, and I just feel like they're getting trolled by random people when they say that. It's like, yeah, you're telling me that it doesn't show up. I'm like, nah, it shows up just fine. Please, I don't want emails. I get junk emails enough. I don't need you guys climbing that up there too.
Don't contact me.
Yeah, please don't. Just make videos. I'll watch it, and I'll give you a thumbs up.
Exactly.
And that's where it ends. We don't need anything else.
Just have a mutual silent agreement. You make the content, I will provide a view, maybe a thumbs up, and if you have like a contest or something, I'll like write your stupid fucking comments so I maybe win the prize or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you benefit from my views. I benefit, you know, from the entertainment. And I use, I actually am subscribed to YouTube. I forget what they call it. They call it Prime now. So I use that all the time too. So they're always guaranteed revenue, which is nice.
Wait, there's a YouTube Prime?
Yeah, so there's like, you don't get any ads at all. And then you can also download videos to your phone. So if you don't have any Wi-Fi, you can watch those videos and you don't use up any data.
You know what they've been doing lately? If you've had YouTube Prime, then you haven't noticed this, but it's been driving me up the wall lately. They're showing 2 commercials now before every video on YouTube that I watch instead of the typical one. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, so I get literally no commercials besides the ones that people literally put in their videos when they get sponsored by someone. And yeah, so I haven't gotten a single ad in like a placed ad in there since 3 years now, maybe going on.
How much
4?
does that cost?
It's
honestly,
like,
that's starting to sound appealing lately.
Yeah, they changed the pricing. I got grandfathered in where it's $10 and I get that. So I get YouTube Prime and I also then get Google's music app too as well for free. So I don't get any ads on their music app. And so that's $10 a month for me. I think they split them up though, so I think it's maybe $5 or $6, but I haven't seen it yet. So because now you have to get them separate. Originally, I just got YouTube Prime because I used to travel all the time, like you used to, and so I was like, well, I'd like to download these videos, have something to watch on the plane, and then I found out, I get Google Play too as well. So I got two really good apps. I absolutely love their Google's Play Music too as well. Mm-hmm. So I use it all the time, and I don't get any ads. And luckily, they came to a point where they made them separate. But I think they actually split the price too. But once again, I'm not 100% sure. But still, I get them both for just $10 a month. And
whatever. People can figure it out if they're interested. Whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm glad I get literally no more commercials at all, and so I don't have to deal with that stuff. Or especially if it's like a long video, you don't get those in between commercials too as well.
Yeah.
And like
I don't even know if our stuff is monetized on YouTube right now, but
yeah,
I mean, I can only imagine. We have 2-hour-long podcasts. I bet it's a pain in the ass.
I think you have to turn that on.
We should check that.
Yeah, we'll have to see if that's on or not. Because I remember I was looking into making some YouTubes prior to this, and I remember it showing up. I was like, oh, you can monetize this if you want to. So
I don't think we currently have them monetized.
I think you have to be like a partner too as well. They switched. They changed a lot. So it's been a while since I looked at it, since they changed so much, and you're the one who updates to YouTube. So I haven't really looked into the count myself.
I think you have to have a certain number of subscribers.
Yeah,
it was 1,000 or 10,000.
I think they moved it to 10,000 or even more actually. I think it's like maybe 50,000 now.
Whatever.
I don't know.
We can check it out later.
No, yeah. And then, speaking of subscribers, congratulations to you getting 50 subscribers to your other channel and all that stuff. Oh, that's a pretty big milestone.
You cut out for a second, but
whatever, did I?
We'll just keep going. Yeah, I don't know. Weird.
Oh.
Anyway, so I guess... Yeah. That's always good.
I was happy to see that. And if you guys don't know what his other his other channel is, it's Overclock News. If you want just a quick video on what's going on in the gaming community, that's definitely something you can sit down and watch, where you don't get a bullshit bunch of just opinions. You just get told straight about the facts and what's going on, and that's it. Quick little snippets, easy to watch.
I don't really like to advertise too much on this channel for it, but it's minute-long esports news, and it just gets right into it. For the most part.
That's why I absolutely love it. I actually like it when you post something new. I'm like, cool, and I know it's gonna be just a couple of seconds long and not waste my time on just bullshit. So, but let's get back with the podcast, and if you guys are new to this, we usually start off what we did for the week. And I think I started last time. So, Ben, how was your week?
Dude, you start like every time. We go basically straight into the intro of like, hey, welcome to Overclock News. And then I always say, Mike, how was your week? So, like, it is uncommon for me to ever start. But I appreciate you thoughtfully putting me first here. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're important in my life. I just want to let you know.
You're important to me, too. It's fucking stupid.
Bro love.
Oh man, but we
My
actually haven't been playing the games together this week. I think maybe a little bit
we
of Remnant from the Ashes one day.
we played a little bit of Remnant on Monday or Tuesday. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna mention that. So that was pretty good. We're actually getting pretty close to the end. There was one part that we couldn't figure out where the heck to go. I guess there's a bug where the game gets confused on what mission you're on or something. Like, we're not sticking too close to the story, and I think there's someone that in my game that Mike was joining, someone that I had to talk to, or just basically like we got them. We had to talk to them in base, and we never did. So then the game was confused on, like, this is the current quest you're on,
Yeah,
right?
I think maybe. Also, we also went to a dungeon that we thought that we're supposed to, that was part of the main quest, but it was just a side dungeon. That also threw us through a little loop, too, as well. It's like, oh.
Yeah, we thought it was like a final end area boss, and that was not the case.
Yeah, and so he backtracked a little bit. But we got
from
back on
looking
track.
We looked at a walkthrough for what to do next, and in that walkthrough we saw, like, we're pretty close to the end of the game, and I know that there's a lot of replayability in this game, but it is interesting. I think we've got like 2 main bosses left to go, 3
Oh,
main
cool.
bosses.
Nice.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes.
I know
but
that
Mike and
we need to hop back onto mine because I'm in this boss area where it's more of like an objective area, and I definitely need another person to help me out with it because I'm in an area where I need to destroy these 3 objects, but they have a shit ton of health, and then while you're doing it, you get constantly attacked by enemies, like floods of enemies are at you, so I definitely need your help to deal with that situation.
Okay.
Because we're now
yeah,
further
I'll for that.
in yours than mine, by this one boss area. It's like, fuck, it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
So I could definitely, the next time we hop on, we should get me through that, and then you'll get a nice bonus item too right away. So will I.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Sweet.
I've actually been spreading my wings a little bit more into other games. I feel like you and I talk about the same games for like months at a time, which is good. Like, honestly, no one's going to get sold on a game if they only play it for a few days. Like, I'm happy that you and I revisit the same games for a week or two.
Yeah, it's something that's gonna, like, I'm gonna get into more details when we talk about our top 5 list too as well, because that's something I've realized as well, is that we usually only focus on one game for a while, but it's very nice as well to do that, because damn, there are just so many fucking games to play and to get good at.
I do like how we approached Remnant, though. We had, like, our first impressions when it first came out, and then the next week we had, like, follow-up impressions, and then now we are getting a little bit into the late game where, granted, the game has a lot of replayability, but in terms of the story, like, it's basically been there, done that for us. Like,
I have no idea what really the story's just been. Find this old fucker, and that's it. That's all the story's been so far. Just find this one dude
Ford.
and to get to this lighthouse, because our main goal is to get to the lighthouse. But we're helping these
no one's
people
even
out.
mentioned the lighthouse.
Yeah,
the first 5 minutes of the game, like, that was totally thrown to the wind after the first
because no one
5 minute
else
cutscene.
cares about the lighthouse but us. We're like the characters you play as are the only ones that care about the lighthouse, and everyone else is like, we just want to live, so you can find this guy for us. He'll tell you, but we don't care about the lighthouse, but he'll tell you to get there, and we just want to find this guy.
Honestly, I don't even remember if he has anything to do with the lighthouse. I think we just showed up at these people's place and they're like, oh, some guy went missing. And then, like, that's our goal now.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the reason why we... Like, why even throw this fucking lighthouse in? Like, at this point in the game, we've been to, like, different universes and we've fought, like, all these monsters. Like, this idea of getting to the lighthouse seems so insignificant in comparison.
Exactly.
Trivial is a good word, yeah.
I think we could just walk to the lighthouse with no issues, because we can know it's outside the base, too. The base we're in is, like, the lighthouse is, like, right there, apparently, and we just kind of got drugged to this area where this base was. It's like, oh, yeah, like, this guy knows how to get you there, and we want this guy, too. I'm, like, thinking to myself, are you just lying to us and just saying just to get this guy for you, and you're just not gonna help, and he's not gonna even help us?
Yeah, the lighthouse is based, like, maybe outside of the city that we're in, and at this point we've traveled to 4 different planets. Like, clearly one of those things is a lot harder to do than the other, you know?
And, like, we've already faced, like, 20 bosses, I feel like, already. It's like, yeah, I don't think we need his help anymore. We can just probably go there right now and just do it.
And screw you guys, find your own guy. My only goal was to just become a lighthouse keeper. Yeah. I don't give a shit about Ford.
I think that was our goal, is become lighthouse keepers. I'm not really sure at all anymore. It's been such a long time since they brought up the lighthouse. I was like, ugh. Just all I know is that
Yeah.
we have to find this old fucker that's like the grandfather of the woman who runs the camp. I don't know if it's her grandfather or her dad.
General Ford.
Yeah,
No, I don't know.
I don't know either. Just know this old bitch said, "Hey, go find some family member of mine. He'll tell you." I'm just
Yeah.
looking at her. I'm like, I think you're lying to me. But
Go do all my fucking chores for me and help me run this base. You don't know anyone here, but
Yeah.
here's the keys to the castle.
And
See you
no one
later.
here does anything but for like these two people that sell you like upgrades, and that's it. Everyone else can basically tell you to fuck off. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Like the whole premise of the game is you were doing your own shit, and then like they saved you, and now they're like, you're indebted to us, now save the world, as if that's like an equal trade-off for you owe it to us to save the world and also find this guy who's probably dead and like bring him back to life.
Your life is that much worth. I'm like, really? Like I have to do all this now? I mean, you already bring like a couple people back to them too, and like you turn on their base for them too. It's like that's the very first thing you do is you turn on their whole entire base so they actually have power. I think it should basically call you guys even right there and then.
They basically put you into a glorified janitor's position, and now you're like an indentured servant, even though like basically you were at their gate. All they had to do is drag your body inside, put a blanket over you, feed you some chicken noodle soup, and then they're like, no, yeah, now even Steven, now go save the world and you turn on our power. Okay, cool.
You still owe us. It's like, what? Really?
Yeah, thanks.
And they try
for
to like
nothing.
to hide it. It's like, oh no, we're even. But this old guy that we miss, yeah, he knows where it is. So can you go find him for us? It's like, okay.
It's like straight up manipulation too. They're like,
Oh, yeah.
this guy that we desperately need, and he's a relative of mine. He might know where the lighthouse is, so you should go look for him. By the way, we're gonna sit here and fucking do nothing. Every time you talk to anyone in the base, they're like, my life sucks, I hate it, and then they just like go sit down and do nothing. It's like, am I the only one that fucking works around here?
Yeah, right. And there's just like one person to deal with who's a total ass to you the whole entire time. I'm like, okay, I'm kind of helping you get this new materials to make awesome stuff, and you're just being a total bitch to me right now.
Yeah.
I'm literally
I don't
the
know.
only person that can give you material to make anything. Can you be a little bit nicer to me?
There's legitimately like 30 people in the base and no one does shit.
Yeah.
And yet everyone treats you like an asshole because you're the only one that's like protecting them or giving them food or
Bringing in
like giving them
materials.
any chance of survival.
Oh, it's so funny. And you just
The girl that you're talking to is like, "What? You're bothering me." And you're like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Were you too busy standing over a bunch of fucking scrap metal and staring at that for the last 4 days? Like,
I
am
don't
I
see
bothering
any
you?
other customers here. I'm the only one who talks to you.
Are you doing anything of importance right now? Have you been doing anything of importance for the last 5 years since this has been going on? No. This guy's been crying in the corner about how like he misses his wife, and he's like, "That's all that guy does. Why don't you bitch and moan about him? Because he's
Yeah.
doing nothing for the colony."
Good times. Good times.
So anyway, the game has an interesting plot.
Yeah, I tell honestly. I mean, the game knows what it is. It's a fucking. I don't even know if it's really a looter shooter. It's more of just, hey, fight these cool bosses, see what you get.
Yeah, no, but I like to pick shit at games though.
Yeah.
The game it's undeserving of a lot of
The
the
shit.
commentary that we just gave, but
Yeah.
it's still funny.
It's fun to trash on things you love.
Yeah. Other than that, Slay the Spire is still going well. Actually, this last week, you play as 3 different characters and you've got to beat it with each one. This last week, I finally beat it with the second guy, which has been taking me like 2 weeks to do. And then immediately after that, maybe 2 games after that, I beat it with the third guy. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I just got stupid lucky.
That's Roblox for
So-
you.
I went from beating the game 33% of the way with one character to beating it 100% of the way within like 24 hours. But there's like a whole after game now where now that you've beat it with everyone, then there's special challenges and then there's like a true final boss or whatever. I haven't quite gotten there yet, but Nurse Tyler, who was on the podcast last week, he is like in the zone for trying to beat this new final boss, and I don't know anything about it, but he tells me there's a lot to still do, and I'm just sitting here like, fuck, come on, are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's why I kind of avoid rogue games, just because I'm trying to go into more focus. Hey, there's beginning and an end, and there's like no bullshit in between.
No, I love the bullshit, honestly. I love that this game has more and more. I'm still going to keep playing it, But it is funny that it's like, you thought you were over, didn't you?
That
Like-
was just
like,
the
there's
tutorial.
There's always something fucking more with these games.
Basically an MMO. It's like, oh, you thought you're done. It's like, nope, now you can do all these other things that are going to take up the rest of your time. It's like, shit.
Yeah, and then the last thing that I did was I've been playing a game called Celeste, which is a game on Nintendo Switch and like everything else, I think, at this point.
Yeah,
it's
fucking
basically
everything.
a platformer.
It's basically, Nintendo Switch has now become the handheld game for, like, AAA games. That's what I've realized.
The second that they announced Witcher 3 was going to be on it, I was like, all right, I don't know what else is not going to be on this console, but it's got everything. Like, that's crazy.
So I'm having a brain fart. What was Celeste about?
Celeste is a game, it's a 2D platformer. It feels like Super Meat Boy in the sense that there's a lot of quick actions you have to do. You kind of have to, like, start... like, each room is basically its own puzzle, and whenever you die, you start the beginning of the room again. So it's like a bunch of small, fast-paced puzzles that you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
But when you jump, you get to do one dash, and then that's the only thing that you can do to, like, modify your air movement. Until you touch the ground, and then you can dash again. But you can also wall jump, and you can do a bunch
now
of
I remember
other...
this game now. It came on free on Epic Games.
Yeah, but I decided I wanted it on Nintendo Switch.
I don't
and
blame
then,
you. That seems like a
course,
handheld
right.
version.
Yeah, but of course the week right after it was free, then it went on sale on every console, and I was like, perfect. Like, this is what I want. So it's $10 last week, and that's been a really fun time. I'm not addicted to that game like I probably am with Slay the Spire, but it's really fun to just relax and play that for a couple levels.
I was actually looking at Epic Games to see what their next free game's going to be, and all it is 3 question marks, and then it's just like a picture of Batman, and there's like Lego Batman and some other ones in like the photo of Batman. It's like a collage of different of the Batman games put into that look like Batman then. So yeah. I'm very interested to see what that's going to be.
Well, what are the Batman games? There's the Arkham series, there's
Lego Batman, there's...
Is there... I know that there's Lego Batman, but is there... I don't know if they remade Lego Batman to coincide with the movie, but there's an old Lego Batman. It was the first Lego games that they started making before all the others.
Yeah, I wonder if that's going to be... Because they have 2 pictures of Lego Batman in there, so it could be both.
And then it could be the Telltale game Batman. There's 2 of those now.
And then there's the open world Batman game too. Is that part of the Arkham Asylum one?
Yeah, there's like 4 or 5 Arkham games. There's Arkham Asylum, Arkham City. That's all I know.
Yeah, I can't really get into them.
them.
Like, I'm not really a fan of the that beating up mechanic system of it. It's a good game, but it just never really caught my attention. I played some of it, and it's very beautifully styled, and I think it has a great Batman story in it too as well. Just don't like the combat system.
I have a tendency to agree with you at this point. I actually think that the games are pretty well done, but I do have beef with the combat system as well, where you have to parry with an enemy. You have to hit the Y button at the right moment.
And they make it so easy too. It's like, so they make it completely obvious when, and they slow down time, and I'm like, all right, so it's just really me hitting X nonstop and then hitting Y, and it shows like the whole stealth element, and you do feel like Batman, but in the overall, it's so repetitive.
Well, I don't know. Like, hardly does Batman like go into fist fights with people. He's typically like striking from the shadows. There's a little bit of stealth, but at the end of the day, you'll like
get stuck in a room.
The first guy, and then it's like 5 other guys on you immediately.
Well, they usually also then just throw in a room, and they're like, "Oh, fight this wave of men's." I'm like, all right. I mean, they do like the whole Gears of War style. It's like you're going to an area, then the sound comes in. It's like, all right, I know there's a bunch of enemies I have to kill here, and then when you kill the last guy, it goes. I'm like, okay, now I can go on to the next area.
The problem that I had with those games, the Batman games, is that they, the Arkham series, I should specify, is that the guys, like, Borderlands always gets shit on for being bullet sponges, like, you just unload clip after clip, but I would say that whenever I'm playing an Arkham game, those guys feel like punch sponges almost, like, you are just laying into a guy, parry, punch, parry, punch, parry, punch. I mean, it's so repetitive, and you do that for like 5 minutes.
And then, at least with Borderlands, you get like this beautiful visual effect. You know, it has a very cool style, so it looks fun. And then they're usually saying a lot of funny lines too that keep it interesting while you're doing it.
I'm not going to say one is better than the other, but it just falls into the thing of like, oh, this game needs to be longer. How can we make it longer?
Yeah.
Give the enemies triple
I
health.
hate
you know?
that. Right when you feel that in a game, it really takes me out of it. When you just feel like, all right, this is just kind of a time filler.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of funny because I fully realized that when you feel that, that's probably true. Because in Anthem, when that game was being made, they even brought that up, and someone did a news article about it and found out that they even put on like these time-sensitive things just to extend the campaign because they realized how short it was. I'm like, wow, that's because it made me just solidify. I'm like, okay, so when I actually do feel that it's happening, that's probably what they're actually just doing in the end, is just buffering the game time to make me feel like.
The thing that's funny, you don't need a long game for it to be good.
Yeah.
Portal is a perfect example of like what, a 3-hour game that everyone loves. People
exactly.
cannot get enough about Portal. The problem is that you
people
just
think
can't.
it.
I would say if you're gonna have a $60 game, bare minimum, it should be 6 hours. Personally, I think if you can get 6 hours of good fun, if there is replayability, then you can add more. But if it is just start to the finish and you're done, 6 hours is a good enough time for me.
I don't
What do you
know
think?
if most games should be even $60 at all nowadays. I feel like that $60 is actually an overpriced system, just for what I'm getting in games nowadays. Especially how easier they actually to make too as well. Now I'm not saying that they're like incredibly easy, but with new technologies today, they're becoming much more efficient and easier to handle. And man, I don't know. Every time I can't remember the last time I've actually put down for a $60 game. I can't remember the last one where I paid for that and was actually completely happy. I know that I put down $40 for games like Divinity
Remnant,
2
yeah.
and Remnant from the Ashes was what, $30 or $40, and
It was 40.
I got my full gameplay of that. I know Hero Might Magic 3. That's all I've been playing this week, and I've already got 7 hours in that game. And I only paid $20 in that game, maybe even less actually. I think maybe 15 or 10.
Yeah.
I actually saw that they have Diablo 1 on Good Old Games. That's where I have my Heroes and Might Magic 3 on. I might be picking up Diablo. I looked at the photos, and for some reason I saw the photos of Diablo 1. I'm like, I really wanted to play it. I don't know why, but I had the biggest urge to buy that and to start playing it. It was the funniest thing. And,
All right.
And I think I'm actually going to do that. After I beat this one campaign, Heroes Might and Magic 3, I think I'm actually going to pick up Diablo 3 and start playing it.
Diablo 1.
Diablo 1, thank you. Yeah, sorry. But because I was thinking of Heroes Might Magic 3. But yeah, Diablo 1, I've been thinking about picking up. I have no idea. Every single time I go on Good Old Games and I just look at their store page. By the way, Good Old Games, they have like their own, they updated the store page. It's called like the Galaxy something. It is top notch. They have tabs for everything, for games on sale, for the type of game you want. It's easy to get through. It's like, the interface is just so pleasant to look at too. I think that's something you should look at and downloading on your computer, Ben. They also have some incredibly good sales on there too.
I just got Epic Games store officially, so this is kind of a good loop back to what you were saying. Is when's the last time I paid for a $60 game? I'm probably gonna buy Borderlands 3 tonight. I decided. I was thinking it over.
I hear that there's some issues going on with it. It's like there's some massive bugs with it. And once again, I haven't fully read into the articles yet, but apparently there's been some bug issues with it. So I'm gonna put it on hold on a bit until they probably fix those, which won't be long. And I don't know. I don't have an itch yet for Borderlands. For the play Borderlands. To be honest, it's not there yet for me. I got other games to play that I want to get to before Borderlands, but I don't know. I think I might wait until it goes on sale.
Okay. Well, no, you might have a point. This is the main reason that was holding me back. And I think Borderlands inherently is a great cooperative game.
Me too.
I don't know if it is a good single-player game. So, you know what? You're right. I'll think about it. I love Borderlands.
I know that, like, we talked about it and I said I was going to get it, but after I was looking at my top 5 list for this topic, which was games I wanted to play but didn't have time for, I'm like, maybe I can probably maybe play these games and put Borderlands 3 in the back burner. Just wait for it to go on sale. Especially
Probably the best way to summarize our top 5 is probably games you want to buy, because we've done previously games we want to play that we already own. This one specifically is games that we don't own. So I would probably say our top 5 is games we want to buy.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, continue.
But, and also with the Borderlands 3, they always come out with DLC that is really good. Their DLCs are always fun. They're not the longest, but they're good quality DLCs. And I'm like, I could just wait until the Game of the Year comes out and get all that DLC with it for like $60, and I'd be still saving, because they usually charge about, what'd you say, like $10 to $20 for their DLC too?
Dude, the DLC, like the season pass right now with the base game is $100.
Motherfucker, no.
So it's an extra $40.
Fuck that, no.
I know a couple guys that did it, and like it's the thing is they're promising 4 DLCs to be in it, so
But
it
they
would be
always
$10
promise.
a DLC.
Like every single time I've seen them, like game companies promise, I've yet seen anyone happy with the season pass yet. With these AAA games that have been coming out, I've never heard yet of a positive feedback from a season pass at all. And I don't like the idea of buying a season pass when I don't even know what the DLC is going to be, because once again, I know that Borderlands has a great record. But still, like, there's a lot of game companies that I thought they had great records, like Bethesda, and now they're just complete garbage to me. At least in my opinion, they are. And so I'm like, well, I can just wait and see what actually happens here. Because man, AAA games have been just dropping the ball, I feel like, dramatically.
I think DLC for those games, or for like any general game, is pretty good. I mean, Civ 5 DLC is great. Typically,
but would you call
Borderlands
Civ A
DLC
AAA
is
game?
great. What?
Is Civ a AAA game, would you say?
Okay, even if it wasn't a AAA, which it 100% is, we can say the previous Borderlands. I love all previous Borderlands DLC.
Yeah,
like,
but I loved
there's not
all
one that I
previous
don't like.
of Bethesda's DLCs, but Bethesda has not been doing good at all in my mind. And I know that
but
other
that
game
doesn't
companies
speak for their
do.
DLC. Like their DLC for Skyrim was the werewolf and like that, and the other things too. I mean, those were some good solid DLCs. DLC for Fallout 4 is the harbor, and like
I actually didn't download
disagree
any
with
of the
you.
Fallout. Oh, that's totally fine. I think otherwise, in my opinion, and I totally fine with you thinking that. And I'm like, I don't judge anyone who gets a season pass. That's totally fine. But for me, and what I've been noticing to me is I never see anyone completely satisfied, and I didn't ever see anything completely satisfied either. And I also don't like the idea of buying something that I have no idea what's going to be in yet. I just don't like that. I think it's a bad philosophy to do that, especially nowadays where I don't buy any more, what's it called? Steam calls it like
Porn.
like, well, porn too, but I know I'm going to get in porn. Even if it's bad, and if you're desperate, it can be good. What's it like, early access? Early access games. You know, I stopped buying those as soon as I see that little big blue paragraph side saying in early access. I'm like, nope, I'm gonna wait until you're out, because they changed so much. And a great example of that is 7 Days to Die. And like, that just shows like, hey, you'd be liking a game, but all of a sudden they changed something that you liked and it's no longer there. And so,
hey, I'm very happy we got to play the version that we did.
We did, yeah, but that version's also gone though. We tried playing it again, and it was no longer fun. We wanted to play it again, and we couldn't, just because, like, well, at least for me, I don't know. I'm not putting words in your mouth. I just did not find that game fun anymore, with the whole new system.
If you waited to play the game after it's released, then that means that you wouldn't have enjoyed it at all ever. I'm happy that we.
I'm so happy we did too as well, but it also reminds me, I'm like, hey, if I'm putting investment in a game, I should at least expect to know what I'm going to get out of the game. And I also, it's just one of those things too that leads to effect is like, you know, it's like you bought something, it's yours. But nowadays, it can be changed that what you own can be changed anytime, even though if you paid for it, and it's... But nowadays, it's kind of weird because you get leased games. Technically, when you buy things off of Steam and other things, you're only getting leased to play the game nowadays in the terms of service. And so,
I don't know anything about that. I own all my games.
well,
If I stopped paying a subscription, I wouldn't lose any of my games. You know?
But the thing is, though, but the game can be altered. So your game that you used to play, and the reason why you bought it, is no longer there. And is it technically the same game then? Or did they take the game you bought that you wanted and they changed it?
I mean, outside of a game that is a beta, that's never happened to me, where the game has inherently become broken.
I mean,
but
think
I have
about
heard of
how
people
you're
saying,
playing at like an online game. You know, it's like, oh, you like this character, but that character just decides to be changed to be nerfed. Even though you disagree, let's say you totally disagree. Maybe you were right. Maybe the character shouldn't have been nerfed, but it did get nerfed.
Online games have a tendency to do that. You've heard of people playing Star Wars Galaxy back in the day, right?
No. Oh, what was the story about that one?
They had this thing where you could basically like build wherever you wanted to before, and the players made the economy, and it was really great.
Oh,
and then
yeah,
they kind of
yeah.
went in and they swept all that
MMO.
out. Yeah. But that was a big problem because basically the players made the economy. There was a reason to like be great at leatherworking or weapons making or whatever, and then at a certain point, I might be dead wrong, but I think this is what happened. They changed the economy somehow, where it's like it didn't even fucking matter for anyone to be like a specialist or for anyone to like open up a store or anything. But basically they forced in their own economy into the game, and so no one like even cared to be a specialist with like, you know, making armor or weapons or anything. And then people just all stopped playing completely. And it's like one of the biggest examples of people that are like, the game was good and now it's not good. Like,
Yeah.
everyone was pissed about it. So, okay, I rescind what I said before. It does occasionally happen. It's never happened to me yet for games that are out of beta.
But isn't it
7
funny
Days
though?
to Die is
That's
the
okay
single
though.
example, though.
And the thing is, like, it comes to like a gray area for me, where it's kind of like, is that okay? It's like you bought something, they say, hey, it's gonna be like this, and it turns out it's not gonna be like this, and it's something completely different. It's like, well, I bought it for this. So I mean, I guess, you know, you could actually ask for a refund, and that's actually liable grounds for a refund too as well. And you would probably most likely get it too. I mean, and you could probably fight it as well. But in the end, I got enough gameplay out 7 days, so I'm still happy with the time I got out of it. But it also is a reminder saying, hey, something you bought and you're planning to play for a long time can't change. And is that something that's okay, or if that's not okay? I don't know. It's just like, it's something that keeps me from doing it, and I kind of like that philosophy with myself. And I try to stick with it. I mean, even with, like, I no longer really buy EA games anymore because I don't like their philosophy. I don't like any of their how they do business at all. I find
just don't like their games.
And their games
You know?
are not good either. And I don't
They've
like
got
the
sports
business
games and they've got Star Wars games.
Yeah,
and that's it.
and their Star Wars games
Wars-
are no longer good. And yeah, it's a good. Like, I don't know why people would trust a company that is run by stocks. It's like you realize that you're no longer the primary concern of the company. It's the people that, you know, it's their stocks. That's the primary thing. That's not their fault. And it's like,
Okay, this is a completely different
Yeah.
situation we're
It
getting
is.
into now.
but you know, it is one of my philosophies, and I like to stick with it. And I can understand that people disagree with it, and that's totally fine. I don't care what people do. It's their choice. It's their money. Yeah, but for me, I'm gonna wait until I see what the DLC is. I've been burned too many times, so by other game companies, and even though Borderlands has never let me down so far, I'm still not gonna blindly give someone my money. It's like, yeah, that's plain and simple. I'm gonna wait and see what they come up with
Yeah.
before I
can
jump on the season
totally
pass.
respect that. My biggest thing is I agree with you in the sense that $40 for the DLC right now, $100 for the full game is unreasonable.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, $60. I mean, I have been assured by the reviews from the people that I like that give reviews that they've said this is more of the same, but in the best way possible.
That's
They
good to
switch
hear.
it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So
it's
I think
funny
that-
when I hear comments from other reviewers like, "Oh, it's just the same game." It's like, yeah, that's what people want. You know, it's like, what do you
It's not a
expect?
problem.
It's Borderlands. If they wanted to make a
Right.
different game, you'd buy a different game that didn't have Borderlands in the title.
Yeah. The only reason... So that's what when I first started this podcast, I was like, okay, I'm going to finish the podcast, I'm going to buy Borderlands 3. But since you were just talking about how you're not convinced to buy the game yet, you have convinced me to say, one, I wasn't even going to buy the DLC. $100 for a single game is unreasonable. But the second part is that the game, if it is more of the same, that's awesome. But Borderlands, a big part of that to me is playing online. And if no one is... I know a bunch of my friends bought it on PlayStation, and if you're not picking it up, and if there's no one else I know that's picking it up online, then that isn't the same experience for me, because online is the experience. And so knowing that you're not going to pick it up, knowing that our other mutual friends aren't going to pick it up, then I'm probably going to wait for a deal too, because not that you are forcing my hand to make this choice, but inherently that's like basically the game is missing one of its main features, is where's the online play. Is if I don't have my group that I'm playing with, then that takes all the fun out of it. So I guess that's where I'm at too. Anyway, if you had any final words, go for it. We got to get back to what we're getting.
Oh yeah, now we get back with our week. Actually, so did you do anything else besides playing games though?
I was gonna finish up and say Celeste is a new game on my list, so I was gonna give it a rating out of 10 here. I would probably give it like a 7 out of 10. It's actually better than I anticipated. I would say it does accomplish what it's looking to accomplish. And supposedly the game is like 12 hours long, which surprised me. It seemed like it was going to be a relatively quick game, but people are saying like, no, this game has some good meat on it. But
wow,
we'll see.
That's awesome. I always love it when I hear it, especially indie games too.
Mm-hmm. I do have a movie. Well, I have a TV show that I started watching. Should I mention that now, or do you want to talk about your games first?
No, go for it. Okay.
So our mutual friend Travis. I saw him over this weekend. He's not a friend I get to see too often, honestly, but I wish I could see more of him. And
why? I guess he's a fucking loser.
Yeah, screw you, Travis. No,
no, I'm joking.
But so anyway, he introduced me to this show on Hulu called Holy Moly. Mike, have you heard of this show at all?
No, actually, never.
It's interesting. So, do you know who Rob Riggle is?
I actually do not. It's not because of this person. I do not know any actors' names by heart at all. I'm just...
Okay. Let's see. God, what is he known for?
Let me take
the thing that I think of...
I can
Rob Riggle. So I'll talk about the show, but basically...
There we go. I can take a look.
You're going to know his face right away.
Oh, yeah. That guy's great. Absolutely love him.
Yeah, he's awesome. So basically, this show... Do you know what the PGA Tour is? It's like a golf tournament, the main golf tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, pro golf. Okay,
no, well, my girlfriend owns a golf course, so I should know this.
Okay, so anyway, basically what they do is it's a farce. The show is a farce on professional golf. They do mini golf. So Holy Moly is a show that takes like PGA, like very official association standards of golf, and they transfer it to mini golf. So Rob Riggle is one of the co-hosts in there, and it's basically, if you remember the show MXC, Most Extreme Elimination Challenge, the Takeshi's Challenge show that they dubbed in English, that was like all those Asian guys like getting hit and stuff. And anyway, it's basically a combination of the PGA Tour meets Most Extreme Elimination Challenge. And Rob Riggle is co-hosting it, and it's just like nonstop. People will, like, there's one part where they've got to do these absolutely insane putt-putt golf things, but then there's also a good chance that they're gonna like fall into a vat of water or like get slammed hard by something. So there's one where it's a windmill that they've got to hit through, and they hit the ball through the windmill, and then they have to run and chase their ball through the windmill. And the windmill's fucking huge, and people just get fucking slammed by the blades sometimes. They've got to force their way through it, and the thing's spinning fast. And people just get demolished, dude.
Damn. What was this show called again? Because that sounds fucking hilarious.
Holy moly. It's so good. But there's another part where, basically think of a U shape. So... you hit the ball up one side of the U, and it goes, it's a vertical, it goes up, 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 it goes around, and then it goes back down. And they have to run from one side of the U to the other side of the U, basically beat their ball to the other side of the U, and they have to, like, hit a button so that it doesn't fall off the course. But in between, like, they have to run across these things in water, and like almost every single time someone just eats shit and falls into this big pile of water. But one of the guys that did it, he hit his ball. The ball didn't even go like make its way up the vertical U. And so it like went back down on his side, but he just ran off and just immediately fell into the water. They're like, oh, that sucks. He's got to retake that shot and run back across the water, now in soaking clothes. Like,
Oh, good.
it's hard to
Hulu.
describe,
Nice.
but it's so funny. So definitely check out Holy Moly. It's so good. I was just surprised I haven't heard of it before.
Yeah, I forgot I was still subscribed to Hulu, so I'll definitely look into that. Sounds fucking hilarious.
It's good. Yeah, so Mike, how was your weekend then? We talked about Remnant, and you said that
Excuse
you
me.
were playing Heroes of Might and...
Magic 3. Yeah, that's
Okay.
only game I've been playing. It's my Civ game. And if you ever played Civ, you know how it is. You turn your brain off and you just keep on going. And next thing you know, it's fucking 2 o'clock in the morning. It's like, holy shit. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's just insane. And like, I've like everything about this game is coming back to me the more I play it. And dude, the computer is brutal in that game. It just fucks your shit up. It just does not care at all. You get wrecked so easily in this game. It's just stupid. And I like how there's like 6 different alliances, and each alliance has like some fucking overpowered unit that you just don't think are gonna be a big deal. It's like, oh, they have like 4 of that unit, and I have like 200 of my fucking archers, and next thing you know, he's already crossed the other side of the fucking map up into the archer's face and kills him in one hit. And it's kind of like, welp, I guess I'm restarting this one. I'm just like, I finally was able to beat like the first campaign chapter, and I had to restart that one so many times to finally realize, like, all right, I'm gonna have to lower difficulty level and realize that I can get my shit kicked in pretty fucking easily. It's just stupid hard sometimes, and the computer just comes at you nonstop.
Man,
It just-
that sounds like a pain in the ass.
And what's the most frustrating thing is that they come in, they attack you, they whittle you down, and then they fucking retreat. And if you retreat, you can rebuy your units that champion with all the items they had on them, and then like and their units too. And they just like fucking rebuild, and they keep on coming back at you. I'm like, you motherfuckers, just stop, just give me a breather. It's like you just have to beat them into submission, and it's a lot of beatings, dude. It's a lot. And like I thought I was on top too, thinking, oh, I got this shit. And all of a sudden, this dude comes out of nowhere, and he has like 10 of his top unit, 6 of his lower unit, and he just fucking walked over my strongest guy. I'm like, all right, if I was just keep him in the castle. He just defends the castle. That's what you do, and I'm just gonna do the same thing to him, just whittle his fucking his time down with my other generals. It's just ridiculous.
It's good to hear that the game is challenging, though. Like,
Oh, yeah.
The biggest problem I have with Civ is that it's so, like, basically, the AI doesn't get smarter in Civ. They just start out with more resources, which
Yeah,
is
and
always
this
a cop-out.
one, it's like the easier setting that I'm playing on. I start with more resources, and like the normal, like the horror difficulty, which is the middle, is that you both start with the same amount of resources, and that's it. The AI is the same throughout, and the AI is just fucking vicious. It's just crazy, and it's like, oh my god, it's so hard. I love it though. It's just one of those things I don't mind restarting and trying again. It's one of those games that you make a lot of saves, but you have to make sure you don't save the wrong spot because you made a wrong move, and it's like, shit, I shouldn't have moved him there, and that person's fucked forever. So it's like, which is cool though. I like that. It's like you can save a lot, but that one time you save could just fuck up the whole entire thing.
Sure.
It's nuts. And it was kind of fun too because I was saving over my autosave, and I thought I was gonna make another save instead of rewrite over the autosave, and I did a mistake, and I found out that it overwritten my save. I'm like, well, time to start this whole thing from the start.
Fuck this shit.
And I was like, okay, because it was like the one of the things that to keep this one character alive, and so if this character dies, the game is over. I'm like, shit, and this one character died, and every single time we reload in, they kept on kicking her shit in. I was like, all right, so. But that's been the only one I've been playing. It's a good game, like Civ, just to have in the background, play while you're having like a stream going, a movie going. And I played Rum and the Ashes with you. We already talked about that. But I watched a shit ton of recent movies, though. So this is the movies I've watched. I
Yeah,
watched
go through it.
It Chapter 2. I've watched
What'd you think?
It was good. I liked it a lot. So this one, I agree with you. There was a lot of humor in it, but I felt like it kind of, comparing it to the original, I felt like at least the original was actually technically not a movie. It was a TV series. I thought it was 10 times better than the TV series, and I love the TV series, and I felt like it kept its same pace as well. And
I don't think anyone is arguing that the TV series is better. I'm totally with you
yeah,
there.
and I actually enjoyed the humor in it, and because honestly, me and my girlfriend came back just to see Pennywise, not because he was really scary, but Pennywise is an awesome character. That actor who did Pennywise did a fucking fantastic job.
Bill Skarsgård,
yeah, and man, that name too, Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah.
You just can't forget that name. It just, man, I just love Pennywise. It's like, I'm happy the series is like them, they did the whole thing. It's one of those movies, I just want to see more Pennywise. I want to see more Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise. Because I love the way he talks. I love the way he acts. The one thing I wished that I saw more in the movies is that more alterations of Pennywise when he's going after other kids because like in chapter 2, if you don't know, it's when the kids are now adults, but Pennywise is still chasing kids. And I wish that you saw more Pennywise chasing the kids or trying to scare the kids in it.
I was gonna mention that too. It seems like a lot of the times he doesn't really seem like he's trying to scare them, which in the book they say that the reason that he scares them is because it's like salting the meat. Is the words that they put on.
And they address that in the first movie, don't they? It's been a while since I've seen first of it.
I can't remember, but in this new one, there's a scene. I'm gonna try not to give spoilers, but this isn't a big scene. It's just like Pennywise is messing with a kid, and it's the scene with the girl under the bleachers.
Yeah,
and basically that girl isn't scared the entire time. She's a pretty courageous girl, and then he's still. It ends poorly for her. Is probably the best way to put it.
And the funny thing is, he doesn't try to scare at all. He tries to lure her in.
Yeah.
So that's all he does. So it kind of
fails. At his why even be a clown at that point?
Exactly. Which I thought was kind of a disappointment. That was the only thing that really bugged me. It didn't bug me. It was just a disappointment, just because I'd like to see what else they can do. Because I did enjoy the other creatures he formed as to hunt the now adult main characters in the show. I thought they were all really good. My girlfriend thought that the CGI, she wished it was better. But I'm glad they kept it the same, it kept the same style, so it felt like it was still in the same universe. Because even though something's bad to me, I appreciate when they kind of carry it on. Because I didn't think it was terrible. I thought it was still good. There could have been some improvements. Because I've seen some really good, after seeing so many different types of CGIs. Especially, I follow a lot of people who specialize in CGI on YouTube. And they come up with some incredible stuff. But they were so cool, though. I absolutely love the creatures that were in it. And plus, fucking Pennywise. Once again, I just fucking love that guy.
What do you think about this? I was gonna say, I think the reason that I was so upset about the humor, to be ambiguous about it, is the scene with the scary, not scary, and very scary door. I thought that was okay, we get the joke, it's been drawing on long enough. They did this thing where the joke behind the not scary at all door. I don't know if you're following.
Yeah, no, I know what that one was. I wish that...
It felt a little weird to me. It felt like the timing was bad for the joke, I guess.
Yeah, and also it was like two people were together while everyone else was by themselves. I wish those two people were separate to deal with their own situation, which I thought was kind of weird that they had them together for it. Yeah, that one was, once again, that was kind of a weird one too. There's criticism. I still like the movie, but I agree with you there. I thought that was all right. Especially the scare at the end of it. I was like, all right, that wasn't really that scary. That was kind of silly. Especially how it formed. I was like, really? I mean, come on now.
But the I was gonna say though that the scenes that are or parts of the movie that I didn't like were almost matched equally with parts that I did like. For example, I thought that the intro scene at the carnival was super good. I mean,
yeah, the beginning scene of the whole movie.
Yeah, with the two guys at the carnival.
Yeah, I mean, I could have done without it. I don't know. Once again, it seemed like weird, and it didn't add. I didn't feel like it added anything at all. And because like what bothers me about that scene is that they never explained the first movie either or this one, but they explain it in the TV series. Is that people like in the second part of the TV series when they're adults, they realize why does everyone just act weird? Like they realize like, hey, isn't it weird that everyone just does not care about all the shit that's happened to us as kids? Like, you know, like how vicious the bullies were, or like how everything just bad was happening. People were missing, but no one cared. And then they realize that people were their minds were being altered in the town to not like, at least all the adults were, you know, to ignore everything. You know, they completely applied that, and they completely specified that in the show, which made, that makes sense. Okay, in the movie, they don't even do any of that, so it just makes no sense on how everyone in this town is vicious. They just like, everyone's just racist, or everyone's just anti-Semitic and all that stuff. Like, no, that's not at all how it was in the TV series. I don't know, was that how it was in the book? Because I never read the book.
That is a straight scene from the book, which is what I really like about it. The thing is that happened in an earlier year. That happened in like the 60s or something. And so they just basically modernized the scene as an introduction to the movie. And I thought that was really clever. So when you and I are seeing it from two different perspectives.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I'm seeing it as like, oh, this is a great homage. You're seeing it as like, well, that didn't fucking explain anything. So I can agree with your points as well.
So like, if it's one of those things, you had to read the book to understand. But I'm like, yeah, but if no one's really read the book too, like, well, no, that's not true. That's not true at all, even close. But still, I think a movie should be able to stand on its own in its context. Because if you just throw things from the book and never explain it, it like for me makes absolutely no fucking sense, especially when they miss the whole point explaining how everyone in the town ignores is like why everyone's ignoring everything that's happening instead of being ignorant and just evil people. You know, did they ever explain that in the book at all, saying like, people like they ever like say how weird that people just ignore all this stuff, or does it just say that they're just everyone in the town just bad people?
I think it's more that everyone is just like there's a certain negativity or an omen. Like do you know the idea behind Freddy Krueger in the Nightmare Before Elm Street movies? Like, if you don't think about him, he goes away. Like, it's only if you remember that Freddy Krueger exists that that's when he gets powerful. I think that's kind of the idea with it, is that if you don't think about him and you don't, like, let him get to you, he won't bother you. If, if you're not scared of him, he won't bother you.
Yeah, and that's
I think that's
what
why
they did
people
in
put
the
him over.
show too, as well. They said like, people just kind of like seem to have like this spell or omen, kind of feeling around it too, which I appreciated. It made sense, and I was hoping they would address that in the movie in a much cooler way, which they sadly didn't, which bothered me about that first scene. I'm like, because it doesn't go into details explaining it, and then I watched. There's like after I watched it, Chapter 2, I was watching some behind the scenes stuff. And the director, all of the reason was saying that he put that scene there was like, oh yeah, this stuff happens all the time. I'm like, does it mean people bashing gay people? I mean, yeah, I get it, but that's the reason why you put it in the movie? I was like, okay. It just like, once again, I thought that scene was very visceral. I thought it was a very well done scene too. I just felt like it was very out of place though, especially since the people were adults and not even kids too as well, which made it, I'm like, oh, that makes... Which also, and it just didn't make sense because, because I don't want to spoil anything, so it's kind of hard to get into details of why it bothers me too, as well. But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I get you.
So once again, also very well edited scene, it was a very powerful scene, great editing, all that stuff, and but it also just in the context of the whole entire movie and the story that this version made. Also makes absolutely no sense as well. And if you took out that whole entire scene, it would be totally fine because you later find out, because like this what spawns Mike, one of the kids now adult main characters, to call everyone back to the dairy. And you could have had any because you already know that kids are missing. You could have any other reason to call them back. So this whole entire scene could have been cut out of the movie, and it'd been totally fine. That's another problem with it too, because it's already a 3-hour movie. Which, by the way, I didn't even notice. I didn't even feel like it was a long movie at all, which is major props to them. That's how you know a movie's good. If it's 3 hours and you don't even notice that, that's a really good quality movie. But once again, it's 3 hours. It's a fucking long movie. And which is kind of... It's like, when do you have time to rewatch a 3-hour movie?
Exactly, man. I mean, it's longer. It's like it's on par with a Lord of the Rings. No, it's longer than a Lord of the Rings movie.
It's like and I love those movies, but it's like I just don't have the time. It's like I would love to watch them, but I guarantee you, I'm buying it still just to give support because great director. He's a fantastic director because he did the first one too, and me and my girlfriend can't wait to rewatch It One. I'm so excited for me to. I think I'm gonna maybe wait until they become a combo pack. I don't know, because I'm not really into I never get into like buying them as like together as a set. I kind of also like buying them separately too.
Okay, so you mean like buying the Blu-ray later on?
I'm gonna probably go over to Walmart or something and get the It One in Blu-ray. Because man, I cannot wait. I'm dying to rewatch that movie again.
You know, I actually picked up some Blu-rays myself this weekend.
Oh, nice.
I know that you still said you saw a lot of movies, so I'll just quickly say it. But I found a really good deal for Back to the Future Blu-ray collection and Jurassic Park Blu-ray collection for the original 3.
Oh, that's so good! Damn,
yeah,
that's a good collection.
It was $12 for each trilogy, and I was like, easy choice.
Oh fuck, that's such a good deal. Holy shit. Man. So
anyway though, what are the other movies that you got around to then? So It Chapter 2.
So I'm gonna start with some good ones, and then we then rented some movies from Redbox. What's beautiful is that it's just really right across. It's a 2-minute walk from us, so we rent a lot of movies for Redbox.
Okay.
So one of them, next one that we liked, it was a simple kids movie. My girlfriend wanted to see it, and I'm really wanting to get into animation and 3D modeling. So I was really happy she did, so I could just see it. It was called Ugly Dolls, and it's just an animated movie, 3D animation, and it's about these ugly dolls that are made in a factory, but they're rejects, and they get thrown into like this dumpster. Well, it gets reverted to a town called Uglyville. It's a very sweet movie, just about proving everything you are is just doesn't really matter. You can accomplish anything because it's about these ugly dolls trying to get into this prestige doll center or something like that to become dolls for kids, in which I kind of find it funny because the ugly dolls in Uglyville have an awesome life where they just wake up and just have parties every single fucking day, and everything there is free. They don't have to do anything but just hang out and just play games and races. And yet their goal is to become dolls for kids, which you see at the end, spoilers, but they act like toys from Toy Stories. When the humans are looking at them, they can't move, they can't talk, they pretend to be inanimate objects. I'm like, why do you want that lifestyle? You have the best lives ever, and you want to become dolls for other people? Like little dolls? It's the funniest thing ever. Me and my girlfriend were just laughing about that at the end. And we're like, that's the worst life ever. Why would you do that?
I don't know, Mike. The alternative is living in a dumpster.
No, it's a beautiful area. It's like they're like on an ocean side, which makes no sense. Like, how did they get dumped into this area? And so they're like on this beachside area with this beautiful town they made themselves. And it's like they can go sailing. They even show them having like boat races too in these really cool boats. And I'm like, why would you want to leave all this behind? And in the end, they make like this awesome utopia, and it's even better. Yet they still want to leave. I'm like, okay, but it's a great movie for kids though. It has a great message and all that stuff. The animation's fucking great. The voice acting's really good too. So it was a pretty good movie overall, but there's nothing else to say. It's a simple kids movie. I just had to talk about because it's just such a funny thing where they have this amazing life, but they want to become dolls, like toys for kids. I'm like, why? Just there's no reason for this. And it was just a very funny dilemma. But then I saw two other movies. I saw the sequel to the recent Godzilla movie. So I saw the latest one that came out, and it's called
King of the Monsters.
Yeah, that movie is fucking garbage. Holy shit. Dude.
It's got like Mothra and some of the other guys in it, don't they?
You know, and you get to see them fight, but it's like one of those things when you know you go to see a movie, you don't care about the plot. But this plot is so bad and makes no sense that both me and my girlfriend were just yelling at these actors, thinking you're terrible. Like, no, these characters, sorry. Actors are totally fine. They're great acting in it. But the characters that are in the story make no sense at all. And then we're just making fun of these people nonstop in this movie.
Dude, you know that this is a Godzilla movie, right? Like, when has a Godzilla movie ever had a good plot?
But it literally makes no sense where the main... I mean, I can't spoil anything, so it's kind of like we should make an end at the end of our podcast sometimes to talk about spoilers in some movies. I feel like
the movie's out on Blu-ray. If we're able to not talk about it for a few weeks, that's fine. Like It Chapter 2, I'd say is still off limits. But
okay.
If you want to talk about Godzilla,
so Godzilla's
now,
King of the Monster is basically focused on this family of scientists, and they have one. Well, they used to have two daughters, but now they have one daughter. The other daughter was killed in the first movie by Godzilla when he's fighting the other monsters. Now, they all blame Godzilla, especially the dad. But
I mean, who else are they going to blame? The monster that leveled their town or some random other dude?
Exactly. So it's really funny. And so you don't really understand what the mom thinks so, but the mom is living, and so the daughter that's left is living with the mom, and they're in some freaking African land, and they're raising Mothra. So she's part of this, this organization that's taking care of all these other monsters. So you find out in the movie, like, this organization has realized that there's more creatures like Godzilla, and they call them all Titans. And so their job is to study them and make sure, how do we avoid these creatures and all that. And so this one creature that they're right at the moment monitoring was Mothra. And so this mother comes up with a communication system so she can actually communicate with the Titans. So Mothra comes out as a caterpillar and all that stuff, but then all of a sudden this evil group come in, kill all the scientists, take the mother and the daughter, and then it goes back to the organization back at home base somewhere in the United States or something like that. And it's like, oh, she's been taken, but they got on the vice. And so it's like, oh no, what are they? Well, they're this like terrorist organization that's, for releasing all the monsters and stuff, because they think they're the rightful rulers and they're supposed to keep us in check because we're killing the planet. It's like, oh, that's bad. And then you later find out that the mother's actually part of the terrorist organization. She wants to release the monsters to kill everyone. I'm like,
why?
Well, but it killed your daughter. And she's like, yeah, but it's just like we're killing this planet. And so we should kill everyone. But it killed your daughter. And her daughter's like, wait, what are you doing? This is bad. This is just bad. And by the way, the daughter is the...
Wait, her daughter's dead and she's talking?
No, because they had two daughters.
Oh.
One died and there's still one alive. And so the daughter was living with the mother while at this testing, like, when they were raising Mothra. And so, like, the daughter is, by the way, is the actress who played, what was its name? Eleven.
Stranger Things.
Yeah, 11 from Stranger Things. Her acting, really good, by the way. I just feel bad that this is one of the movies she did because it's a bad movie. And it's always
I'm sure it sounded fun on paper. They were like, you want to be in a Godzilla movie? If anyone asked me if I wanted to be in a Godzilla movie,
true.
I'd be like, yes.
Yeah, obviously. I totally agree. Make sure my recording's still going. I had a little heart attack for a second.
Ben, do you even want to read the script? No. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I'd be the same way too. But the story made no... And so, like, the father has been, like, with the rest of the good people, was with the organization that's watching Titan, they're now trying to... And he's, like... all Titans, which makes sense because, they kill people on the whim just by walking around. Not really a good thing to have walking around. And he hates Godzilla. It's like, Godzilla fucking sucks. But then he immediately does a 180 out of fucking nowhere and says, like, no, Godzilla's cool. I'm like, Godzilla killed your daughter. And he's like, nah, he's cool. We need him.
The guy who killed my daughter is cool, obviously.
Yeah, and so... But he still makes the most sense. Like, he kind of he comes to an understanding, like, well, we need Godzilla to kill these other Titans. And he seems to be, even though an asshole, he's an asshole we need. That's basically his, which I'm like, okay, that makes sense. It's just the whole mother throws this whole thing into, what the fuck am I doing? And then she changes her mind at the like this minute, and everyone's okay with it, even though she killed a bunch of American soldiers when she released. Do you remember the monster that's has 3 heads? It's like a dragon with 3 heads and all that stuff.
He's like the most famous Godzilla monster,
but
I never.
They call him Patient Zero in the movie. I mean, Titan Zero, and so they all realize that he's the main one. And so, like, he's the main badass. Apparently, he's a fucking alien from space, though. And then, which made no sense to me, because, like, they have, like, all this historical stuff about all these creatures, but they literally said that Godzilla in the first one was made by nuclear explosions. Yet he's in all these Aztec drawings and stuff, and all these other creatures, too, are in these Aztec. But I'm like, but they were made by nuclear explosions. How is this possible? This makes no sense. And you're finding that dilemma in your head, and then you're finding the other dilemma, how stupid the mother character is, who's technically the main villain. Because the main villain in the terrorist organization, I don't remember what he does. He just says, "Hey, this is your idea. Let's do it."
It makes all the sense.
And that's all he does.
Aztecs had nukes.
And does the mom even die? I think she does die. I don't remember. It was so bad. I just forgot everything about that movie. It was so fucking bad. There was nothing to write home about, and I don't remember most of the fight of the Godzilla between the giant creature. I mean, it looked cool, but it was just so... Because that's the problem I had with it. It was just so fucking stupid and so infuriating stupid. I'm like, can you just make it a simple movie? And you just can't. You just can't. It was just so fucking bad. The creature designs were good, though. The animations was nice with them, which gave major plus from on that. And the fights were, you can actually see them fighting. It wasn't that bullshit in the first one where you get just only little snippets from like TV, like old TVs that shouldn't exist in that time anymore, or it's so dark or there's shadows and stuff. No, you literally see them fight each other. I'm like, fuck yeah, that's what I want to see. You know, that was cool. I was happy about that. And honestly, I wish that they just come out with something like a movie where it's like, hey, we get rid of all of the story of the movie, and we just have it where you just see Godzilla and the monsters, and that's it. I'm like, I'd buy that for $1.
You know that it's going to be, well, I don't know if it's still going to be, because I heard that movie tanked, but you know that they're supposedly making a third one, and it's going to be 2 universes colliding. It's going to be...
Oh, yeah, no, they bring up the Skull Island with the, what's that one movie with the giant gorilla, King Kong?
King Kong.
They bring it up constantly in the movie. They remind you, hey, these are shared universes.
This is a franchise.
This is a franchise. You remember Skull Island? Big Monkey? Yeah, he's gonna come in.
Good movie.
Yeah.
What if, man? Wouldn't it be crazy if those 2 fight? We'll get ready for next summer.
Yeah, you bought this ticket. We know you fucked me over.
Bet you never saw that twist coming, because we mentioned Skull Island 500 times this movie.
It was just so funny. This kept on bringing it up randomly. Like, we get it. We know. All right? You already said this 100 times. It was just so stupid. Which actually, I just felt like it was an intro, just like, hey, and well, here's it. Once again, the fights between the creatures were awesome, but the movie is like, because what was it? Pacific Rim. Pacific Rim had a stupid storyline to it, but it was just like, you got it. It made sense to the end of its universe. It's like, cool. Let's see these things fight now. So, like, that which was, like, Pacific Rim did it right. These people that are making this Godzilla movie, I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? I'm like,
well, here's the thing to me. So, King Kong, historically, there's that famous scene of him on the tower holding the lady, like...
Yeah.
He can climb, scale, and stand on a building. Godzilla overshadows an entire city. So if those 2 fight, King Kong is going to be like 1/10 of Godzilla's size.
Did you ever see Skull Island?
No.
Oh, he's the size of a fucking mountain. He is huge. Like, he's fucking massive. King Kong is huge. He's
okay, so they beefed up his size then.
Yeah, he's the size of a fucking mountain. Yeah, so... And you should definitely watch Skull Island. I actually liked Skull Island. That was a really well done movie. I enjoyed it a lot.
All right.
The humor was perfect in it. There was a lot of humor in it, and it's good. It's solid. Samuel Jackson's in it. His character is kind of doesn't make much sense, but it doesn't borderline stupid like it does in Godzilla movie. Because it makes sense, but well, yeah, you know what? When I think about it's a kind of extreme case of PTSD, but it makes sense with his character. So like everyone in the movie makes sense, and there's actually a lot of good scenes in Skull Island actually that you would like, and I wish there was more of it in it. Damn, that is a good movie actually when I think of it. Not like, oh, this needs an Oscar, but if you wanted just to really just enjoy a movie, Skull Island, they nailed it. I actually liked it a lot.
No, I get that. I mean, that's how I feel about Fast and the Furious movies. Is like I can already hear people scoffing when I say that about being a good movie.
I think a lot of people agree
but
with you. I think there's more people that would agree with you. I have never watched them, but I understand why people watch it. If you love cars, you love action, that's what you have.
No, that's not even why I like it. I just like it because they're just a movie to tune out. Like it's basically like listening to Pink Floyd. Well, obviously Pink Floyd is way more acclaimed, but like it's something that you don't really pay attention to. It's on in the background.
No, that's like Ocean 11 for me. I love all the Ocean 11 movies. I just have them in the background while I'm like just doing my other stuff.
Sure, yeah.
No, I totally
All right, so what was the last movie that you saw then?
I saw John Wick 3. And
I want to get around to that, so be vague about it, please. But
you are
what
not
did you
gonna
think?
like it. You like the first one more than the second one?
I didn't like the second one. Yeah.
You are gonna hate the third one.
All right.
It is awful. Because you know me, I like the second one, and I know the second one wasn't that good, and I kind of am more defensive about it. But this one, I mean, I'm hoping the fourth one's better. It leads to a fourth one coming. There is gonna be a fourth one coming, so you're going to have to watch it to understand what happens. There are some good scenes in it, but then there are just moments going like, what the fuck is going on? You know, when there's like I even told my girlfriend, like, I honestly don't know what's going to happen. And that's not a good thing. Because this is the third movie. I should understand this character completely. But none of this is making sense. It's like people say, oh, but they're averting, like your expectations. Yeah, that's okay sometimes. But when you make a character and you've been with them for 2 other movies, you should understand who they are. And I feel like it's been like especially like the movie starts good, but then like a quarter in, it turns to shit. I feel like, and in that shit, there's some nugget of gold, but you're still in shit, because there are times where I'm like, well, because they take like their belief system, and they just blow it off the wall. Like they just take a shotgun, and not in a good way. Like nothing makes sense. People's abilities don't make sense. And everyone's attitude towards John Wick makes no sense, to a point where in the first and the second, in the first one, everyone's just straight up trying to kill John Wick. In the second, John Wick kind of gets away with some bullshit. In the third one, it seems like everyone's kind of just being nice to John Wick because they feel bad for him. And that's why I feel like, because like in these fights, he's like, when he should clearly die. It's just like, he should be dead. In these chasings, he should be dead. But it's like, you feel like, oh, they just kind of feel bad for him. So they're just kind of giving him a little edge. I'm like, no, that's not a John Wick movie. But during the shit part though, there were times I just laughed out loud and I enjoyed the visuals and the scenes I saw. And man, like the first quarter though, I was like, fuck, that's cool. Especially just like how they cut, like, I can't wait there's one scene that I saw that was just fucking epic on how they just set up the whole scene of just like this, well, it's not a scene, it's a shot. How they did this one shot, it just looked so cool and everything. Kind of just showed you who John Wick was. It was like, yeah, that's fucking John Wick. And then that John Wick dies. Not like fake, not literally, but because I already said there's going to be another one coming, but that character completely changes. And it's not like it just seems like another director came in and then just took over the movie. Because I even asked my girlfriend during the movie, like, is this the same director? I'm like, I don't think this is the same director, and I haven't looked it up yet, but I'd like to see if it is or not. But yeah, you're gonna hate it.
All right.
Because I know you didn't like the second one, and they did a lot more of the second one, but poorly. And it's kind of funny too, because like, how they did the subtitles? It seems like they thought that everyone just loved how they did the subtitle thing. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, we thought it was cool, but now you're just overusing it, and it's just bad.
My big problem is that just the first one felt very down to earth. I think that's why I like the first one the most. The second one, this is like the problem with Fast and the Furious, is like the movies are so unbelievable now in comparison to the first movies when it was like, oh, this is a series about street racers, and now you look at number 8 and you're like, this is not the same series, you know?
That's what happens
like,
in the third one. The third one goes from the second one, but it just shoots off to space. I'm like,
yeah,
and it just like the disbelief is gone. It's just like you've passed out your universe completely. I like they do address more of like the undertales of the universe, which I like, which is cool. But the belief that gets shot out of proportion are the people's abilities themselves and what they can do. I'm like, all right, you guys are being weird. This is stupid, and it gets mystical almost. It feels like it's like it makes it like they have like magic almost, but it clearly is not. They are clearly not supposed to be. They're supposed to be, but they literally make it look like they're magical. I'm like, all right, this is just stupid. This is just stupid. It's not even cool stupid. It's just stupid, and it is very sad. But I'm excited because the fourth premise seems really cool, so I'm excited to see that. But this arc was a very bad arc, though. And it's a very disappointing because, like, once again, I still like the second one. The first one was dominant, but I still enjoyed the second one because it was still in that realm of believability. Like, the second one was more of like James Bond territory, but the third one just shits on everything. They just stopped caring. It felt like I'm like, we're just gonna do everything. I really thought maybe someone's gonna turn a dragon at one point, like in Mortal Kombat, and eat someone's head off. I was like, okay.
I'll have to rewatch the first two then before I see the third.
Yeah.
I honestly don't even remember the second one that much.
I remember the second one still very well. I remember the first one still because I already watched the first one a couple of times. I need to buy the second one on DVD still. But yeah, it's just very sad and pathetic on what it turned into. And then those are the movies I watched.
All right. Well, I guess we can get into our top 5.
Yeah, I know. So, like, once again, it's Michael ranting about the shitty stuff he saw.
No, it's fine. It was a conversation this time. It wasn't just you going off for a while. I think that these are all movies that generally I wanted to see, except for the Ugly Dolls one. I don't know.
Yeah, that was
about that.
Yeah, my girlfriend randomly pulled that one out. I'm happy I saw it. It's a really good kids movie. I mean, if you got kids, if you're listening to this, definitely good watch. And if you actually like just animation style or CGI work too, it's definitely just a fun watch at your like I don't know. I like watching those type of movies now because I wanted to get into 3D modeling and stuff. So it was a really cool thing just to see and all that for myself. But I was just happy. I'm still happy I saw the movies. Like, I was really impressive with all the movies I saw this week because I was kind of been on a down period of actually seeing movies. So it was actually nice to get caught up with all of these recent movies that came out. It's just kind of surprising on how bad some of them turned out. I'm just happy It Chapter 2 was a fucking fantastic movie, by the way. It 1 was way scary, though. 10 times scarier. Oh, shit. I almost tore my headphones out. But
I agree.
It 2, still a great addition to the film. And overall, they freaking blew out the original TV series. Like, totally destroyed it.
Sure. Yeah. I agree with that.
But then, that's what I did over the week. And then we should definitely then move on to the top 5 because we're going through, been going on for quite a bit now. And our top 5 is going to be top 5 games that we want to play, but we do not own.
Yeah, so just top 5 games we want to buy is probably the easiest way to put it. So, Mike, why don't you start us off here at your number 5, your number 4, and your number 3?
So my top 3, my bottom 3. So, I was looking through my list, and there was not many games that that are out already, because my list are games that are out right now.
Yeah, same.
So that was so there wasn't that, because there's a lot of games that are coming out that I do want. But so this is, because it's kind of funny because we bring it in, I talked about earlier. Risk of Rain 2 is my number 5, and I loved Risk of Rain 1, and they completely changed the style from 2D platforming sort of to actually 3D. And I really want to play this game. And I'm really excited for us to play this game together, too. Because I know that you liked Risk of Rain 1 as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if
that
Risk
one's
of
on
Rain...
my honorable mentions. I'm excited for when we find time to play that, yeah.
And the only issue I have with it is that it's early access still. So I'm like, that's why it's a bottom 5. And... Sorry, lost the train of thought. But yeah, so it's early access. And I'm really excited to play it. And it's one of those games that's... It's irking me. It's like, you're early access, but you look really polished and done already. I like your style. But like, my bottom...
I like your style, kid.
I told myself, don't do early access anymore. You got burned too many times, Michael. You got burned too many times. But damn, they got great reviews too. People are loving it. And I'm just very impressed just with this company that they went with a whole new style. Not even a whole new style, a whole new system where 3D now, where you roam around instead of just going just back and forth in a 2D set like Terraria. I'm like, what? And it's like, I think that's awesome. That's so impressive that they're able to do that. And I give them major credit. And I cannot wait for them to be done.
Agreed. No, it is an ambitious improvement on their part.
Yeah,
and go from 2D to recreate the game in 3D is no small feat.
Yeah, and just the idea to like, because we all know how some type of fan base can be, and the fan group seems to be totally over accepting this whole new thing, and it looks awesome. I'm excited for it, and I cannot wait to play this game. I'm just like, I'm full blown ready for this, because man, like I liked. Even in the game, like even though they're just like these 2D little pixel things, I'm really excited to see them as full characters designed, because I always thought they were all so cool, and I'm excited to see them roaming around, playing as them, and all that stuff, and seeing their abilities with more particle effects and all that stuff. And especially the enemies too. I'm just excited to be in that world and all that stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, how many games have tripped and stumbled from the jump from 2D to 3D? Like, the most iconic is probably Sonic the Hedgehog, where...
Oh, God, yeah.
Like, you really...
They just can't nail it. They just can't nail it.
It just goes to show, like, I appreciated Sonic Generations, but it just goes to show that 2D and 3D play completely differently. Typically, when it's a 2D game, it can be a lot faster. When it's 3D... because you don't have entire field of view around your character, typically things are a little bit slower.
Yeah, to make it fair, more balanced for the player.
Exactly. And I mean, it astonishes me that they have accomplished it. Not only did they set out to achieve their goal and they accomplished their goal, but it is getting insane amounts of praise too.
Yeah, and I want to add on to that praise. It just looks so good, and I'm so excited for it. I cannot wait. It kills me that it's early access. I'm like, I could buy you right now, be in you. Like, I have standards now. I'm not the same person I was before.
I can change, I swear.
But I know you treat me right. But I got standards.
Risk of Rain 2 is like holding you and petting your hair, and he's like, "Don't worry, baby, I'll never hurt you again."
I know Riskin's my name, but I'll be good to you.
You're like, "No, you're early access." And he's like, "Shh. It's okay."
As it reaches for my wallet. It's pulling out my credit card. It's like, no, don't. Shh. You want this. You know you do.
No, Risk of Rain, no.
I just can't be hurt again. Not again.
I'll never hurt you, baby. You can trust me. Yeah.
You gotta earn it. You gotta get rid of that title. You're dirty right now.
When Risk of Rain goes to like $15 or something, I know it's gonna get more expensive when it comes out of full price, or sorry, when it comes out of beta. So I do want to buy it while it's in beta. But if it goes on sale for like 15 or so, I'd pick it up with you, Mike.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's actually also on Switch, but I think that game seems like a better time on PC. Actually.
Yeah, you need a mouse you definitely need that ability to move fast and stuff. So you need that fast looking. Because even if it's third person,
games, definitely.
Yeah, like a lot of third persons, I like playing with the controller. Like I'm playing Remnant from the Ashes with the controller, but that one's a little bit slower paced, and then you can get away with it. Risk of Rain 2 seems like a pretty unforgiving game, though. Much more faster pace, so that's something I'm going to be playing with a mouse and keyboard. and
I mean,
stuff.
at the very least, you. The point is that you have the option to do whatever you want when you get it on PC,
which is awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah,
all right. What's your number 4?
my number 4 is Monster Hunter World, and
Okay.
if like once again if the only reason why Risk of Rain 2 is number 5 because it's early access, Monster Hunter World is a game that I've always been interested in playing, especially way back then when I first heard of it. I just never had the system for it. Because I remember it wasn't always on PC, correct? It was like, I think, like a Sony exclusive game. Or was it something? It was a...
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I remember it was like a Sony exclusive. I grew up with playing with Xbox. So I could never really play the game. Oh, it was a handheld game too as well. It was on like on handheld and I think PlayStation. So I could never actually give it a go. But now it's on the PC, and the PC version is actually very well made, I hear. And damn, the idea of Monster Hunter World where you just hunt these giant creatures and all that stuff, especially with other people, sounds like a lot of fun. It just seems like a stupid amount of fun. And
yeah,
it's something I really want to get into, but that one also seems like you need a lot of time into it. And like, I just don't have that time yet. I don't have that time to dive into you. I got other things to do. I have responsibilities. I got movies to watch. I got other games to play. And you just need too much time right now. But man, do I want you. I want to play you so badly.
No, I'm completely in the same boat there. I'm actually trying to figure out. So they had the Iceborne style that came out.
I heard great
expansion that came out.
We heard good reviews of it.
Yeah. Okay, wait. It's the Iceborne says it comes out on Steam.
Okay, so it's on the system first now. So I think it got released on the systems first, and then it's going to come to the PC. So I don't think it's out yet on the PC, but I heard that the PlayStation is really good. It has the main reason why I'm never going to get Monster Hunter on the console is that everyone says on the console the loading times are outrageous. They're insanely long, and this new DLC is like no different. And it's extremely long. But when you play on the PC, it's like instantly. You're good to go.
Okay, I think am I seeing this? Am I seeing this right? The Iceborne, just the expansion is $40. I heard it's a huge expansion though, like basically another separate game.
It is basically a whole separate game. They add new things. You have to beat the first one, like the main storyline, before you can even play it, even if you buy it.
Wow. Yeah, no, I agree with you. That game looks unbelievably good.
I just love the world, the style, like all the different weapons you can choose from, which I really enjoy in a game where it gives you multiple weapons to use, and then those weapons have their own type of different classes with them. Like they have their own elemental things you can add to them. So every single type of weapon can be useful against any type of creature, and that's something I enjoy the most about games, when they can make any type of way you want to play useful. It's viable, so you're not forced to any type of weapon. You may need to change the weapon's like type of ability from like fire to ice, but still you can still use that weapon, which I think is amazing, and I enjoy that they don't try to limit your play. And it just it just looks so fucking cool. I just like that you're just hunting these monsters, and the village, like the home base area, looks really cool. And then like you have like this cool cat. You always get like an assistant cat that you can customize, as well. You can put armor on them, and those armors get the effects too, which I think is awesome. It just looks like a fun looter game, and I can't wait. I really want to get into that game. And but that's pretty much all else I can say about it.
No, I agree with everything that you're saying. I think Monster Hunter World looks like a fantastic game that'll be coming. And
I never heard anything bad about them. I heard so far from the extreme fan base, I've always been tracking it. They've always appreciated the developers, and the developers always appreciated the fans, and everything they've really done has only improved the game. There hasn't been really anything that's been added that, there's no microtransactions in the game. Everything you just get in the game, it's fun, it's great, it's good, and they say like they're going to keep that idea. This realm is about you getting the stuff to become a greater warrior. There's nothing about, just like, we're not going to hit you with all this bullshit stuff. So I was like, cool.
I heard that it has a little bit of repetition to it, but I mean,
it's a loot.
I'm getting the
game.
impression. I'm getting the impression that it's kind of like Remnant, where you run around, you face a boss, and the boss battles are the important part of it.
Well, no, how the game is played is that you get a contract to hunt a monster, and then that's it. That's all it is. You get a board. It's like, I want to hunt this monster, and then there's a countdown. And it takes you to the world where that monster's at, and you hunt that monster in that part of the world and stuff. There is a storyline, but the storyline just helps you get more contracts.
Well, yeah, but basically, like, that's Remnant too, is you go from one area to another basically fighting these big battles. Like, that's what Monster Hunter sounds like. Is
but in Remnant, though, you have to restart the whole thing, though. You have to restart the whole story just to refight any time a monster. In Monster Hunter World, once the storyline's completed, all you do is grab contracts and go chase these monsters to build up your character and all that stuff. And all that.
Okay, sure.
So that's why I feel like they're kind of different in their own way. And I feel like Monster Hunter is much already like Diablo, Diablo 3, where you just keep on going, get better stuff. You just go to a realm and stuff, and you just do contracts. So that's why I feel like Monster Hunter is more like Diablo 3 than, at the moment right now, more than Remnant from the Ashes. They do say that Remnant from the Ashes, the developers are saying they're going to try to be more like that, to have a better end game to it and stuff. But we'll wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I've played the game, so I can't really.
Yeah, exactly. I've followed this game literally, like, because I could never play it because I never had the correct systems to play it. So I kind of followed it religiously myself from just watching other just like Let's Plays and stuff and seeing like all the different stuff that you can do, which I get great enjoyment from.
All right.
But yeah, that's my number 4. My number 3 is Spider-Man for the PS4, the most recent one that came out. It looks a lot of fun. I can't wait to play it. I'm almost done with Resident Evil 7. I've been kind of distracted. I'm almost done with Resident Evil 7, the hardest difficulty. And as soon as I'm done with that, I'm going to be done. Probably shipping that back to Nurse Tyler. And maybe, unless you want it, maybe I'll ask him if I could just send it to you. He says he has it on the PC with all the DLC, so he doesn't seem to need it.
No, it's fine. Let's talk about Spider-Man, because it's my number 5, so it's a good transition. So we can both chat about
wow,
this
that's
one.
perfect. Damn. Yeah, it's, it just has overwhelming positivity about it. I've never heard a single negative thing. And I'm not a big fan of open world, but it just looks stupid fun. It just looks fun to me.
The first point I agree with you on especially. So I wrote down a couple notes about why I thought it fit number 5, and I said the game has fantastic praise. And like you said, I haven't heard anything really bad about it. The other thing is that it's a really good deal right now. You can find a copy of Spider-Man for like $20. It goes on sale very frequently from what I can tell. The reason for me that it's at number 5 and not lower, even though it is a good game and even though it is a really good price, is because I just simply haven't touched my PS4 in a while. Like, I am very much in a PC kind of game mode right now. And, like, the only reason I haven't played Spider-Man is just because I haven't set up my PlayStation 4 isn't even set up in my room right now.
Oh, is it really?
To show, like, how little I've been playing that system.
Yeah.
So
I haven't been on mine just because when my girlfriend wants to watch TV and stuff, and we have one main giant TV in the couch, so I'm like, well, you could just watch that and just play on my PC. But when she does her photographer stuff, then she needs the computer, so that's when I play on the PS4 then. So as soon as she starts doing when she gets more photos and stuff and starts editing more photos, which takes forever, I'm just going to be on the PS4 finishing off Resident Evil 7.
Sure.
And then I'll be, I don't know if I'm going to be picking that one up or another thing on my list, which we'll talk about after you do. But yeah, it just like I said, it looks fun, and I really like the unlockables of the Spider-Man suits. They look really fun.
I mean, even you just mentioning that goes to show cosmetics matter, and I agree with you. There's like 5 different outfits that he can wear, and they all seem really dope.
Oh, there are more than 5. There's a lot more than 5. And I'm really excited to unlock all of them. And it's back to that old system where you actually just unlock them by doing things in a game. Like, that's what I enjoy doing. I like unlocking stuff to enhance my gameplay instead of just buying it and just putting it in the game. It doesn't make it fun, Give me goals. I mean, sometimes you don't need goals in games, and goals, a good game has, well, every game needs a goal in the end if there isn't. I just miss that where you can just actually unlock cool stuff and just instead of buying cool stuff. Especially when it comes to like the cheat codes. Even like in some games they make you buy cheat codes. And like you realize that cheat codes are just meant to be plugged in, right, for shits and giggles, not to be bought. This is very silly. And so I mean, there's nothing, I can't really talk anything else about Spider-Man. It just looks a lot of fun. It doesn't look groundbreaking. I don't think it's something that's the best game in the world. It just looks like a lot of fun. Something that you turn your brain off into and have a blast in.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say that, like, what was the popular one, Spider-Man 2 or Spider-Man 3? Like, one of those, they just killed it, like, on the GameCube
swinging.
and the PS2.
Yeah, it's like everyone talks about
And,
that one nonstop because of the web swinging, and everyone says that this one nailed it too. So I'm like, cool, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Just web swinging through New York.
Exactly. Like, the same reason why people love the new Doom is because basically they took Doom back to its roots. They said,
fucking love
you know,
that
what's
game.
good about Doom? The combat, the fast pace. What sucks about Doom? The story. No one gives a shit about the story.
Yeah.
And then that's how they made the new Doom, is
Man.
basically with those things in mind.
Still,
The
still my favorite beginning of every game is Doom, where it says like, "You are what they fear most. You are the monster." I'm like, fuck yes. Let's kill some fuckers. That's all it is. It's great.
Yeah, exactly. It is like they knew that wasn't important, so that's what they stuck with. Spider-Man seems like the same sense, where how many times have people complained about the swinging? They say the swinging is the most important thing, and it sounds like they finally did listen, that they worked on a long fucking time on this swing, and clearly it paid off. I also think that the environment looks really beautiful. I heard
Yeah.
if you have a PS4, you can actually look and see the insides of buildings, like each floor and like offices inside the
What?
buildings.
Damn.
I don't know. I don't
Everything
know
about
if
if
it's
you have
like,
like the PS4 Pro, the PS4 Pro, which I think I have. I think I have the PS4 Pro.
yeah. So I don't know. I thought I said PS4 Pro, but maybe I
No,
didn't.
you just
But
said
yeah,
PS4. But yeah, I think so.
Oh.
Okay, I understood what you meant. I just wanted to clarify it.
Yeah, so it adds like an extra level of
Detail.
of immersion and detail to it.
That's so cool. Ugh. When you just put
so-
that much detail in the game, people love it. I mean, sure, sometimes extra detail isn't needed, but for a game like Spider-Man, you just want to be Spider-Man. You know, the friendly neighborhood, hero. Was it?
Mhm.
Yeah, just like so. I'm excited to play it once again. Like, I know it's not gonna blow my mind, but I know I'm gonna have a lot of fun playing as Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly. That's probably the best way to say it.
Yeah.
That's why it sits at my number 5. It is a game that got a lot of praise. It's a really good deal. Is it something that I'm absolutely itching to play? Not really, but I'm sure I am more than positive I'm going to get my money's worth once I do eventually get around to it.
Yeah,
So I think that is a very reasonable number 5.
that was a really good transition, by the way, from mine to you.
and a solid number 3 for you as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it kind of filled both our spots. But let me jump to my number 4 then.
Mm-hmm.
My number 4 is a game that I have previously owned, but they made a remastered version of it. It's Final Fantasy VIII.
Ah, nice.
So
Good choice.
So the reason that I actually consider this a game that I want to buy, in comparison, you could say, "Oh, Ben, you already own Final Fantasy VIII." Honestly, the remastered version has modifications in it that make the game, versus the old one, without having these modifications in it, breaks the game. I actually have never beaten Final Fantasy VIII, and it's strictly because of the limitations that the old version doesn't have. To get into that a little bit more, Final Fantasy VIII Remastered comes with 3 options. One is to go into a god mode, basically, where you can't die. The second is that you can speed up battles by 3. That you can
That
speed
is
up
a
everything
must
by 3
in
times
any
percent.
Final Fantasy game.
Such a must. And then the third one is that you fill all of your combo and your what are
Combo
they called?
meter?
Your limit breaks.
Yeah.
Your limit breaks. I honestly don't give a shit about God mode or the limit breaks, but the 3 times speed is really important to me, and the fact that this game is on Nintendo Switch, fucking standby mode. Just standby mode,
Oh, yeah.
as well as being able to save or auto save.
Any reason
just put
to
it
have
down
a
whatever.
system over a PC is the fucking standby mode. Because the PS4 has it too. It's the best thing ever fucking invented for gamers, especially adult gamers, is a standby mode.
But I played Final Fantasy IX on my Nintendo Switch about, let's just say, like 6 months ago, and I flew through that. it was so much fun. It was unbelievably, it was one of the best things ever. And then I did the same thing with Final Fantasy VII when that came out in February this year. And once again, like, standby mode, man, I'm all about that. It was so awesome. It was great. And now that Final Fantasy VIII is out, this is the Final Fantasy that it's always been the underdog for me. It's always been my favorite because that's, like, I've got an older brother. That was the one that he was playing. And I was like, oh, this game looks awesome. What is it? And I was like too young to invest, 40 hours into a game. But it was the one that I always like. I listen to the music and it just fucking takes me back. When you're in like
Final Fantasy VII is mine. That's for definitely
the music
mine.
for you.
Yeah, the music and everything is like I was like young. I saw my brothers playing it, but I just didn't have the possibility to do it and all that stuff. But I completely understand what you're saying. And
yeah, I mean,
8 is still a fantastic one. That was the one when I was old enough to get into. That was a good one.
The problem with 8 is that the story isn't the strongest, and the game basically. The game can be abused or like glitched out, or how would you say it can be manipulated, I guess.
Yeah, it wasn't the best programmed one for sure.
Yeah, basically it's in your best interest to not level up because the monsters scale based on your level, but there's a way to make yourself powerful without raising up your level. So people always say avoid battles. Oh, I'm sorry. That was one of the new features of the remastered, is you can also avoid battles completely. But I don't think I'm going to use that anyway. But anyway, so people say keep your levels low, but just have the right equipment or have the right draw or whatever. And honestly, I don't really care about any of that. The reasons that I love Final Fantasy VIII are simply that I do like the characters. Like, people talk about Squall as being, like, ... is his answer of, like, he doesn't talk much. But I like it. Like, when I first saw the game, I was like, in that kind of mode where I was like an angsty, tween or like an early teenager.
Oh, we all were like that cringy age, and it's like, oh boy, life is dark and meaningless. We're just like living the good life. But I was the same boat with you too. I totally get
exactly. I like those characters. They're cool. Everyone
well, that's the thing. They were.
Me,
they were characters. They were literally characters, and it was awesome. They were full like characters just put to the max, but they made them memorable. That's what made them awesome. I remember
the other thing too. I mean, they've got the card game in this one, the same way that they had a card game in 9. They've got a card game.
Fucking
in 8.
hated that game. I was so bad at it. I didn't know what the hell's going on, but I thought it looked so cool.
It's so much fun just to go around and face like that. That's basically half the game is getting all the cards, and there's all the signature cards too. You can get the Squall card, the Kistis card,
very well.
The Zell card, and like all the main characters.
Cards. The monster cards look so fucking cool.
Yeah, Ifrit and all that. Like, all of those specialty monsters have their own cards. You can get the Cactor King, or whatever his name is. Giant
demigods were so cool, too. You summon demigods, basically. Love those things, all those cutscenes.
The GFs were one of the best part of the game. You could collect, like 20 or 25 summons in the game. There was one that was a fucking Doom train.
Yeah.
Where all it was it just had, like, this guy's face on the front of a train, and it just ran people over. Like, the game had just a lot of... It walked a very awesome line of serious and funny, and I think that's what really appealed to me about this one versus anything else. Final Fantasy 9 also walked that similar line of, like, oh, this is goofy, but also really engaging.
Yeah.
Personally, Final Fantasy 7, I think, had much better gameplay, but I never felt nearly as attached to the characters in 7 as much as I did... Sorry, I'm getting my numbers confused. I felt like number 7 had some goofy moments, but probably wasn't... Like, the characters didn't talk or interact as goofy as much.
Yeah, there was more of a serious undertone in most of that one in 7. Most of the cases were pretty serious, but in 8 and 9, there was much more lighter tones, a bit, like you said, more humor, and more humor in the characters, too. They're much more relaxed. There wasn't really, like, a doomsday feeling. In 7, it seemed like everything was kind of like Doom all the time. Everything was super serious.
Well, it started out kind of funny, like the part where you dress up as a girl at the beginning and stuff, but definitely by the end of the game, it was, like, intensity everywhere. Yeah. But in comparison, like, Final Fantasy 9, like, Steiner was, like, one of the funniest characters just throughout the whole fucking game.
Yeah.
And Vivi as well. I mean, the lovable Vivi, like, the game had a very good way of keeping it very, like, soft and easygoing, as well as, like, very intense and hard. So Final Fantasy VIII, if I remember correctly, is like that. But Final Fantasy IX I know is like that, and I'm so set on getting Final Fantasy VIII and playing it on the Switch, having standby mode, having speed up time, and all that. It's gonna be great. My number 3 is Resident Evil 2 Remake. So this game,
nice.
The couple of reasons I wrote down, it looks incredible for starters, and then the other thing that I mentioned is that it seems like a good amount of time investment. From what I've heard, if you play the game, it takes about 6 hours to beat the first time. But you can play the game with 2 separate characters. So 6 hours the first time, and then if you want, you can take a fucking break. You can do whatever. You're not going to lose your spot in the story, because when you play it again the second time, it's a completely separate parallel story.
Fucking awesome. Love
with
that about
second
Resident Evil.
playthrough, supposedly it only takes you like 3 or 4 hours, because now you're familiar with the controls and everything, but that seems like a great way. That is practically 8 hours.
That's what I love about Resident Evil, is that they have amazingly good replayability, and you usually go through a lot faster because you know what you're supposed to do, but you get way more funner equipment too during it as well. It becomes like a whole different tone with a lot of Resident Evil. It becomes more of like action than like horror, and it's more action horror, and then less like survival horror, which I absolutely love. Like the different feel of it. It's more like you get to feel like a payback towards the game when you replay it again. So
yeah,
I'm really excited for that stuff. Oof.
I think Resident Evil 2 Remake looks awesome.
Oh yeah.
The price is actually kind of where it needs to be too.
Yeah,
like
I
that
totally
game
agree.
pretty frequently goes on sale for like $30 or something, which, I mean, it was like up there for, best game for several months. Like, I remember top selling game, it sold like, several million copies or whatever the number was, but that was like only a few months ago that game came out, and the game is now on sale for like $30. Like, that's insane. That's crazy. So I think that I've seen a lot of really good deals for that game
Resident
as
Evil
well.
has always been good with their pricing too. They usually drop their prices pretty quickly, and I don't think it's out of because of their they're losing like sales. They just really, I think they're always fair with their sale prices and stuff.
What's funny too is like people always shit on Resident Evil because they're always like, oh, the game's just been a downhill series since the original ones.
Totally disagree.
Those games have never had microtransactions. They've never been in beta. There are so many things that I personally have against games and things that you personally have against games, and people shit on Resident Evil all the time. But you know what? At least they make their product and they stick with it.
I used to be one of those people until like Nurse Tyler showed me the way, and like I started playing like the later one. I'm like, oh, these are fucking great. These are amazingly good. And I just like ever since then, I just fell in love with Resident Evil. And it's like one of my top favorite series of any game now. It's like I think it beats Halo for me too nowadays.
They never try to pull the cloth over your eyes or pull a fast one. It's simply just you get what you pay for.
Exactly.
The reason it sits at number 3 for me is as much as I want to fucking play this game, I'm a sheep when it comes to scary games. So
like you
That's
have like
the
a
reason
two
it's not
different
higher.
ideas of like what horror is, because like you think like BioShock is a horror game, and like some people agree with you, and like I'm the exact opposite of that. So it's very funny, just our spectrum of it. And so I think it's like the first Resident Evil definitely was like a horror game. But I absolutely love that whole difference between you and me on that. It's great. I absolutely love that.
But that's why it's at number 3. I think the price is where it needs to be. I think the time investment is where it needs to be. I think the reviews and the gameplay and the graphics are all where they need to be. But I'm just a fucking pussy when it comes to scary games. So that's the reason I haven't bought it.
Like I'm the same way too with scary games. Like, and there are games that get me so badly, and one of them is fucking the Alien Isolation. Yeah, I still haven't beaten that. I don't know if I was even scared of that one. I think I was also getting really annoyed by the fucking robots in that game, like, because it always makes so much fucking noise. So they're trying to make noise for the alien, and I'm so scared of the alien that I don't do anything with the robots. I'm like, well, I'm just not gonna play. So there, I win.
Haha, game beat ya. All right, Mike, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is God of War. It's one thing, it beats Spider-Man because one, I want to know the story. I want to play it. It looks fun on top of that, and I really want to see the gods I fucking kill, because I know God of War is you just killing fucking gods, and
it's so good.
don't even care that there's a boy in it. I just want to be Kratos and just kill people and just monsters and do it in the most awesome way ever. And that's what, if you want to kill people and feel badass, you play a God of War game. And this is the one I'm only going to, like, I haven't played the other ones, but I've seen them. And I, just by watching the trailers and seeing some little gameplay, you just know how badass it is to be Kratos and all that stuff. I cannot wait to play this game. I'm super excited. It might be my next, I think I'm definitely going to pick up God of War first because I want to get the story with over finally. Because I don't want it spoiled to me. So I want to beat that right away. So after I'm done with Resident Evil 7, I'm going to be picking up God of War next and playing that because I just want to get out of the way so I get the story. So I don't worry about any more spoilers. It just looks like fun and just like, oh, I just can't wait. I'm so excited. It's just so much fun.
Here's the thing about God of War. I would keep this in mind. I didn't really appreciate the game for the first 4 hours I played it. You really have to get your character to have all, like, a few abilities. But not only that, you have to utilize those abilities. Like,
Gotcha.
The reason that I really liked the game later on is because it forced me to learn all the technicals of the controls. Before, I was just like, I would stay far away from it, and I'd chuck my axe, and I'd hail it back to me, and I'd chuck my axe, and because I was like, oh, they're just going to kill me once I go to them. But the second that I couldn't do that anymore, and I had to rely on everything else that they had offered me, then the game became awesome.
See, that's why I had a problem with Horizon Zero Dawn. You never were forced to do anything, and you could just use your simple arrow set, and that's it. You were never needed to do anything else. And I know, like I said in Monster Hunter, you know, you're allowed to use your equipment. But, you know, Monster Hunter, there was a way of just hunting a creature instead of just also fighting it. And Horizon Zero Dawn, it throws all the stuff at you, but you need none of it but your basics. And kind of took me out of the game pretty quickly. So that makes me even more excited to hear about that, and I appreciate that tip too as well.
The other thing that's awesome about God of War is the late game, or like the game after the game. There's things that probably should have been $20 DLC expansions that they just have in the game for free.
Fuck yes.
For example, there are 9 Valkyries that you have to fight in the game, and they are all individual. They all have their own special abilities. They all have their own quirks and styles to them, and they are hard as balls. You will face them each about 30 times at least, and those battles make you, when you hit them with that last hit, you feel like a god. I mean, it is unbelievable. And especially the last final Valkyrie that you have to face, like the Queen Valkyrie. Oh my god, you want to tear your freaking hair out, dude. She is impossible. But honestly, I would have paid an extra $15 just for that late game content, and they just give it to you. Like, all you have to do is just have the interest to be like, let's see what else this game has to offer. And the Valkyries were so worth even everything else. Even if the game was just the Valkyrie fights, I would probably pay $20 for it. Seriously.
Dude, nice. I'm so excited to hear that. I love it when games give you a reason to replay them again. It just makes it makes me so much more appreciate even more. And there's really nothing else left to say about God of War. I'm just excited to be a fucking god killer and just be the most badass person ever created. And so yeah, that's my number 2.
My number 2 is Monster Hunter World, like you got around to.
Nice.
So, we already went over this, but I'll just, once again, I have little footnotes here, so I'll just rattle those off. So, one, it looks like an incredible game. It looks like it is a vast, deep world with a lot of, rich history and monsters and everything. The second part is, it seems, like it has a good amount of content to go along with that world. It's not just like, oh, here's a bunch of stuff, but you don't get to do anything with it. It seems like you can play this game for hours. We've got a friend who's currently playing it for the third or fourth week in a row, and he's over 70 hours with it. And every time I talk to him, he's like, this game is awesome. It's the best. Like, how many games can you put 70 hours into and still be like, I love this game, I want more?
I was playing with his girlfriend, I wasn't playing. We're on the Discord, and I heard him in the background playing it, and I was like, oh, that sounds like a lot of fucking fun.
Yeah.
It just sounds so good.
Every time I'm on Steam, I see this motherfucker playing this game, and I'm just like, God damn it, that looks fun.
I know, I'm the same way too. I'm like, I don't have the time.
Exactly.
There's
That
more
was my.
time.
That was the thing I was gonna say is that the game looks great, but it's also a double-edged sword where the content seems so intimidating that it's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
well, I don't even know when I'm gonna have time to finish this. So that is my number 2. Is the game looks great. They have, even on top of everything that they've already made for the game, they have this incredible DLC, which from what I've heard basically doubles the content, which is already over 70 hours from what my friend is showing me on Steam.
Motherfucker, Jesus.
I mean, we're talking like what,
Ugh.
150 hours here. I would assume around there or something. And I just look at that and I'm like, no way. You know, like how is anyone ever gonna have time to play that game? But anyway, so yeah, Monster Hunter 2 is my number 2. Mike, what's your number 1?
My number 1, 2 is Resident Evil 2. Dude, Resident Evil 2 looks fucking awesome. It looks
It
so
does.
fucking good. And I love
looks
Resident
great.
Evil. It's like, I'm just dying to play this fucking game. I'm sorry, we talked about it already, but the fucking replayability, and like, if you get it for Steam, there's already a shit ton of mods, it looks like, for this game too, where you can go in first person in it as well. There's a fucking mod that works great, and you're in first person in it. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm just
It
so
looks
excited.
good.
It's like the graphics look awesome. It's like, I'm so excited. It just looks stupid good. And
Dude, I'd hug you right now if we were in the same
yeah,
room.
I'm just so like, I love Resident Evil so much, and it's been killing me inside. I'm like, I just can't wait. When I beat Resident
It
Evil
looks-
7, I'm going right to Resident Evil 2.
Dude, I can guarantee that game is going to have a nice Black Friday deal on it. It is like
Oh,
the
yeah.
perfect. I can't
can't
remember
wait.
exactly when the game came out, but I guarantee it's going to be at least $20.
I can
if
wait
not
for
less.
then because I still I still have like other Resident Evils because like there's something like Steam has like the ones that they didn't release in the United States that I can play, and they're all the good ones too. I think I'm gonna give up on Resident Evil 1 though. The Resident Evil 1, I'm like, that's too old for me to play. It's just not good. I've tried playing it and it's like, it's a rough one. But I'm excited to play Resident Evil 4, the other Resident Evil ones, like Biohazard and all that shit, and just Resident Evil 2, motherfucker remake. It looks fucking amazing. I can't
Have
wait.
you not played Resident Evil 4?
No, not yet. I've been busy with all the other Resident Evil games, and so I have
I think
it.
you're gonna enjoy it a lot. A lot of people give it a ton of praise, and I would say that the story is actually, it's not great, but the story is memorable.
I've heard a lot of
in
things
Resident
about
Evil
it,
4?
and I'm really excited to unlock a lot of stuff because I know like there's a metal suit of armor you can unlock for I think she's like the president's daughter or something like that.
Yeah, you're saving the president's daughter in the
Yeah,
game.
and so you can unlock a full suit of armor for her. And so, like, anyone who
That's
tries to
great.
pick her up, they just drop her immediately because they can't lift her up. And so I'm like, it looks like I can't wait to see that after I beat the game. And this is one of the things, too. Like, Resident Evil is just one of those things that it has the greatest feel of replayability where you just feel like you get revenge on the game for giving you so much shit.
Yeah.
It just, and dude, Resident Evil 2, once again, looks amazing. And I have nothing else to say about it because everyone knows if they listen to this podcast, even just recently, how much I love Resident Evil. Especially, like, after I was shitting on Resident Evil 7 hard. Like destroying it until, like, I got through it and it was like, now I like it, you know? So.
Well, you just liked it for different reasons. A lot of
Yeah.
people like the classic style. Then there's like a semi-modern style with 4, 5, and 6, and now there's this brand new first-person style. So, I mean, it sounds like it touched on the parts of the series that you liked, but the great thing about Resident Evil is that they could just keep fucking reinventing themselves.
Yeah.
Like, that's awesome.
It's cool. I can't wait. And so I'm just like,
We were talking about how Sonic couldn't make the modern jump between 2D and 3D. Resident Evil just blows that competition out of the water.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we're a game that is still camera in 1, 2, and 3. Oh, just kidding. Now we're a game where it's, third person behind the back, and instead of zombie survival, now it's like, this
Creatures
ridiculous
involved.
commentary, and it's a lot more action and everything. And then they're like, oh, wait, never mind. And number 7, now it's a horror game again.
It's
And
first person.
Like, they're just like, what it has as much continuity as Final Fantasy at this
It's
point.
great, though. I absolutely love the stories and how nuts it gets. It's just stupid. But it's the good stupid. Ugh.
Yes.
Man, cannot wait to play it. And just like when I play it, I'm gonna be just blowing away everything on the fucking podcast. I can't wait. It's just especially all the fucking unlockable things in it, and then the fucking mods on top of that. I'm going to have to get it for Steam just for alone the mods and play with the controller. I just like I want to get it for the system, but I just want it. I want those mods. I want them. They look cool. So I'm getting it for the PC.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's my number one, Resident Evil 2. Fucking can't wait.
I figured as much.
Yeah.
When I didn't hear Resident Evil 2 remake, by the time I said my number 3, I was like, I know it's on his list somewhere.
Yeah, it's on, and that's why I wasn't really saying anything at all when you're talking about it. I was just agreeing with you, and I agree with everything what you say too. Fuck, can't wait. It's gonna be beautiful. I'm gonna cry.
Yeah. All right, my number 1 is Super Mario Maker 2. So
Wow, I was not expecting that one. Nice.
dude, Super Mario Maker 1 was so much fun.
I want to get that one too, especially because my girlfriend has been eyeing that one nonstop, and like we've been playing a lot of Mario Kart together, and so she's been eyeing that game herself.
dude, the game has unlimited levels.
Yeah.
Like you can always find more. You're never going to beat the game basically. That is the best part about Super Mario Maker 2 is that basically it's got as much replayability as fucking Minecraft because everyone is always making new stuff.
Yep.
There's no way to ever beat all of that game. It has multiplayer now, which is super cool. I mean,
that's
what an
so
improvement
cool.
on it. That's great.
I should definitely get that then.
They added in a ton of other features from the first game, which I played briefly when I got a Wii U for like $35 at a garage sale. This is a whole nother story, but I got Super Mario Maker with that and I played it and it was awesome.
Nice, yeah.
The only like if I had a chance to play any of these games and have like no like BS to bother with, I would probably want to play, as my number 1, I would probably play Super Mario Maker 2 as the first game. If I had, Super Mario Maker 2, Monster Hunter, Resident Evil 2, Final Fantasy 8, Spider-Man all laid in front of me, I would pick up Super Mario Maker 2 as the first game to play. But the problem with Super Mario Maker 2, the reason that honestly, I think if I had to choose to buy right now one of these games and play them, I would probably pick up Final Fantasy VIII Remastered. But the reason that I have a problem with Super Mario Maker 2 right now is simply that I need an online subscription. It's not just paying for a Nintendo game, which they never go on sale, so it's going to be a $60 game.
Do you have
but
Amazon
also,
Prime?
No.
Okay, because they give it to you for free.
Well, yeah, but so on top of paying $60 for Super Mario Maker 2, on top of that, you also have to pay a $24 subscription for an annual Nintendo. I mean, I could get a month if I wanted to, but realistically, who does month by
Isn't
month?
it $20 a year? I thought. Or is it
20 or 24? But it does. I mean, it's around there. So basically, it's $60 for the game, and then an extra at least $20 for the subscription. So we're talking $80 just to play one game.
Dude, did you know they added Super Nintendo though to their online thing for free, and they added like Yoshi Island on it? I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I cannot wait. I have to reactivate my free account with Amazon Prime with it. So, because like it's weird how they do it. They first give you like the 3 months, and then you have to reactivate it afterwards. So I have to reactivate it again, I think. And so, like, I'm excited for that. That's really cool that they added Super Nintendo. But I also understand, like, I think they're adding more to make it worth it. Because then you get a lot of, like, those older games I actually want to play again. But I can understand your complaint, though. And that makes a lot of sense, though. And I don't think that Super Mario Maker 2 is a $60 game. In my full-on opinion, I don't know.
It depends on what you take from it,
Yeah.
So some people, Minecraft would only be like a $10 game. To other people, Minecraft could be a $100 game. It depends on your investment. I know that I love those games. I'm
definitely
to
gonna be picking it up too. After you told me it's 2 players now, and I need more casual games so I can play with my girlfriend. So
yeah,
because she's getting into it, but I just don't have casual games.
I was describing to you the games, the new Super Mario Brothers games that are the modern 2D side scrollers. This is basically part of that series. It's the same, like, it's modern, it's 2D, and honestly, those games are fantastic. And the reason that Super Mario Maker 2 is great is because it's exactly that game, but with just as many things, as many worlds as you can imagine. Some people make really impossible, crazy levels.
Yeah, I've seen them.
Honestly, some of my favorite things to watch on Twitch are the guys that are making these wildly crazy levels. Like, I love to see that kind of stuff, and that's the kind of challenge. I don't think I'm the best gamer in the world, but I'm pretty fucking good. And I love to challenge myself. This is the kind of stuff that I like to challenge myself
Yeah, me
with.
too. That's what I like about Remnant from the Ashes. I feel like it's a perfect challenge level for me.
Mm-hmm.
But no,
Yeah,
I think
so-
that's a good top one though. He's like, man, we've been playing some Mario Kart together a lot, and I would like to have some more games to play with her and all that stuff. Excuse me.
Yes. And the only, even though it's my number one, the only problem I have with it is just it's gonna be a lot of money. It's
Yeah.
$60, and then I would
That
have to
seems
get
too
my
much for
online
me.
subscription.
I think I'm gonna wait until that gets down from price. I think $60 is a little bit much, a little bit too priced for my blood. But it's something I'd definitely get down to play.
I would say most of these games are probably going to have some Black Friday sale. I mean,
Yeah.
especially Spider-Man. I could see Spider-Man going 15, honestly.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna definitely pick that up and stuff.
At least $20. But yeah, anyway, so to go through my list again, number 5, Spider-Man. Number 4, Final Fantasy VIII Remastered. That game, it's only $20. Honestly, I might just pick that up tonight if I'm not getting Borderlands 3. Number 3 is Resident Evil 2 Remake, just a really solid game, but scares me to death. Number 2, Monster Hunter Worlds. It looks super fun. I mean, this game
Yeah.
looks unbelievably unique, but it just such an intimidating amount of
Yeah.
content. I don't know when I would ever get around to it.
Yeah.
And then number 1, Super Mario Maker. Not only does it have unlimited content like Monster Hunter World, but you can just pick it up and drop it whenever you want. It's only just individual worlds, and you can have a great time playing it. Pull it out, play it with friends whenever. Like, this is a proper game that you can just play whenever. If you bring it over to a friend's house, be like, play some Mario with me. Everyone knows how to fucking play Mario.
Yeah.
It just seems like a great game.
Then,
Mike, what's your 5 again?
mine 5 starting from the bottom going up. Risk of Rain 2, fucking whole new system, looks fucking great. It's just early access, and I just got my standards, and I gotta stick to it.
Oh shit.
I thought you can do it for a bit there. My number 4, Monster Hunter World. Like Ben, so much to do, but man, is it intimidating as fuck with that amount of content. That's like the best way to describe it, Ben. You just nailed on the head of just why. Just why I can't really just like seal the deal yet.
It just scares me, man.
Yeah, it just does. It's just like, no, just you're too much. Just, you're too big. Go.
Too big.
Number 3, Spider-Man. Sorry, I think I said that weird.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man for the PS4. It just looks solid and just fun. Just you want to have a good time playing Spider-Man, this seems like this is the game to do it. Number 2, God of War. Killing gods and being the most badass person on the planet. I mean, it just looks amazing. And then you get to scream, boy, a lot.
Boy.
And then number 1, obviously, because it's who I am, Resident Evil fucking 2 and the remastered HD, it looks fucking beautiful. Just fucking beautiful. Damn. I just can't wait to play that game. So excited. And I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna destroy that fucking game. I'm gonna make that game my bitch. I just can't wait. It just like, I'm so excited. I hope that they add a fucking multiplayer mode to it, like the Resident Evil 5 and 6. Because if they do, I'm just gonna just jizz fucking everywhere. I'm just so excited to dive into this fucking game. It's gonna be glorious. I'm gonna have a blast. And yeah, dude, Resident Evil, they just nailed it for me. It just like, I know I'm gonna have fun with them. Resident Evil 7 was a shaky start for me, but they found me. They got to me. I found.
All right, Mike.
Yeah, good.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's all good.
I'm looking at the Monster Hunter series. How long to play Monster Hunter World? If you're just playing the main story and nothing else, it's 50 hours.
Motherfucker.
If you're beating with the extras as well, it's 93 hours. If you're doing everything you possibly can, it's 322 hours.
You know, there is a thing of being too big, you know?
If you're
You'd be just a little bit too big sometimes.
if you're playing the Iceborne series on top of that, the main I don't know about the main story, but this is a rating website. It's howlongtobeat.com. If you're playing the main game plus extra content, it's 34 and a half hours. So
And you have to beat the main story, by the way, before you can play that DLC.
yeah, most people are typically doing the main story plus extras. So the first game, 93 hours, and then the Iceborne expansion adds 34 and a half hours on top of that. Mike, you're playing this game for over 120 hours
No.
just to
No!
I remember looking at Final Fantasy games and being like, who's got time for 40 hours? And this game is triple that.
Just no. It's too big. It's too much time. You just can't. It's basically a fucking MMO.
All right, I've got some honorable mentions here.
Go for it.
3. The ones that were just barely making the lists, and then they didn't, were Subnautica for VR. This
Not a
game
bad
looks
one.
awesome. Supposedly VR is a really impressive way, or impressive is a bad describing word.
I got
It's
it
a really
free
fun
from
way
Epic
to play
Games.
it. What?
I got it free from Epic Games.
Yeah, well, the VR supposedly is like, actually it can be kind of a horror game because some of the shit that you find under the water is supposedly like scary and huge, and like you'll go through some seaweed and that's just like in your face. So that sounds intimidating but fun. Another game that I've been talking about for a long time is Assassin's Creed Odyssey. This is a series that has been long dried up for a long time, but the reviews came out and people said, seriously, check this one out. This one is great.
Interesting.
And I really want to try out Assassin's Creed Odyssey. A game that was nowhere near making the list, but I felt I still had to mention it, is Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh, God. You guys shit on that one last podcast. So hard.
The game is shit, but the game now is only like $20. You can find it at most places for $20.
I just laughed so hard about that just because I didn't have any investment in it at all. I enjoyed the first one. I thought it was great. But, man, the fan base on this game is insane. People were going to town about this one. They were pumped. And then when it came out, dead silence. I didn't hear anything bad about it. Just dead silence on this game. I was like,
dude,
wow.
Did you
Just
ever watch the
wow.
IGN review?
No.
It was so funny. The IGN review is basically like, how do we rate this game? No matter what we say, people are going to hate us. So, like, that's basically what they first said. And they go through the review and they're like, this sucks. The graphics look old. The gameplay sucks. No one gives a shit about the story. They list, like, 14 things that are wrong with the game, and then at the end they give it like an 8.5, and they're like, the game is pretty good. Like, basically, they didn't want to piss anyone off by giving it a low review, but they were like, we still have to mention everything that's wrong with the game. So they just like have this fucking like grocery list of problems, and then they still give it like an 8 or whatever. Like, it was so
I don't
funny.
understand about game reviewers. Sometimes they do that shit. That's hilarious. Oh man.
Oh man,
It's like we
it
can't.
was really good.
I just like that's the funniest thing for me. It just like because I didn't hear nothing, and then it just spoke volumes to me. I was like, I just felt so bad for everyone. I'm like, you, Nurse Tyler, everyone is like, everyone was hyped up. They're excited. I was excited for them, and it came out, nothing. It just died on release. I was just like, oh fuck. I was like, I laughed about it, but at the same time, I just felt bad for everyone too.
Yeah, man, dead on arrival.
Yeah, it was like I just imagine throwing a dead fish just like in the middle of just like a fucking market, and everyone just walks away. I'm like, oh, damn.
So, did you have any honorable mentions?
No, this one was a pretty cut and simple one. These are the only ones I'm really interested in at all. Everything else I've already owned. And, like, we already did that list.
Sure.
Like, I sort of adjusted at the last minute, but luckily I have a wish list and all that stuff. I was like, okay, cool. And then, like, so it was pretty easy to fill out then. It was super easy to change, all that. So, but no, I have no honorable mentions at all. There was something that I forgot to mention, though, what I did during the week. I did play Mario Kart with my girlfriend. And the only reason why I want to bring up, though, is, like, she's obviously she's not as good as I am, but I found a great way for me to play it and made it so much fun for me and her. And how we played it was that we did the tourney setting, the racing where you do 4 races and then, whoever gets the most point wins. And so what I ended up doing is that I'd always just make sure she would win. So I'd always drive behind her and take out the competition behind her every single time. And it was a great way for her to learn how to play the game, and she got really good at it. But when we first started playing, I would just zoom out ahead and win every time, and then she would get stuck with all the other racers and just get destroyed by the AI because she was in the shits with them. And so I completely changed it where I would just stay behind her and take out all the competition. I'd wipe everyone out. And was
That's
great
pretty funny, man.
was because I was in second, I got all the items to use. So I was actually able to do that. And it changed. And we had so much fucking fun playing it. And she got to actually build like to handle everything and drive and all that stuff. She's still good at the game, but she'd usually finish in like 5th or 4th. And she'd usually get like she would sometimes get 3rd place too. But then like we switched it up and I was like I just like the first round I just let her get 1st place. Like she even said like thanks for letting me win. And I just started telling like that was actually a lot of fun for me. Let's keep on doing this. And we just and she had a blast too, which is a lot of fun. And I just thought it was a great way for her to learn how to play the game. And it kept it interesting for me as well because it was a challenge. There's a one time where, like, the last one we did, it was that she crossed in a first. But then someone took me out and got ahead of me near the last line. And I couldn't do anything originally because I had the blue shell. I got the blue shell in 2nd place. So I couldn't use any items. And so right when she crossed the finish line, I used the blue shell, nailed the second computer that was in 2nd place right at the finish line, and then I had 3 mushrooms in stock that I just blasted right past them then, just coming in 2nd in the last minute. We just lost our shit. It was so cool. And it's like
great.
And it was just like, and I just want to tell a story because like if people are in a like relationship and they want to play games with a person that doesn't play games, Mario Kart and that doing it that way is 10 times way more fun for everyone. They get to learn how to race. They get to learn how to like handle the turns, learn the levels without being harassed nonstop, and you just and then you get like a good hard experience because man, it gets challenging defending 1st place and all that stuff from all the drivers. And so yeah,
it sounds like a good time, man.
Oh yeah, we had a good time. We were drinking too as well. Oh, it was a blast. And so I just wanted to put that in there because I totally forgot. And but for what we're going to be doing this week though, Ben, what are you going to be actually trying doing this week?
Well, I thought I was going to be playing Borderlands 3, but maybe I'll pick up something else in the meantime. I honestly might get Final Fantasy VIII. We'll see. I'm definitely going to be finishing up Celeste.
Nice, nice.
Mike, you and I are going to be playing some Redmond, I'm sure.
Of course.
Let's see. What was the other game I said I was playing? Slay the Spire. Yeah, I could see myself playing a couple rounds of Slay the Spire. And then I am itching. I was getting really excited for Borderlands 3, so now that I think I'm going to be waiting on that, I'm itching to try something new. I might pick up Final Fantasy VIII. Nice. Other than that, yeah, like I said, Celeste, Remnant, and Slay the Spire. Mike, what about you?
For me, I'm gonna finish up Heroes of Might and Magic 3, that mission that I'm stuck on. And it shouldn't take me that much longer. But afterwards, excuse me, I got a little congested there. Afterwards, I'm actually gonna be probably picking up Diablo. I saw it on a Go Game store list and I just looked through it and I just had the biggest urge to play that game. And it's only $10, and that's not even on sale price. It just is $10. And I just, for some reason, had the biggest urge to play that game. After playing Heroes of Might and Magic 3, I really want to play the third dimensional, I don't know what you call that visual, where it's not third person, but you're looking down at them, like Diablo style. It's Diablo vision, because Heroes of Might and Magic 3 is kind of like that too as well, when you're in the combat situation too. And I just been having the aching to play some more in Diablo. I kind of want to dive in that, it has a finish, it has an end. I kind of want to just go in there and play it and beat it for some reason.
Go for it, but just keep in mind it is an old game now.
Yeah, I know.
So...
I saw the visuals and all that stuff, and I know it won't probably be easy at all, so I might be playing on easy difficulty. Because I also don't want to be spending a lot of time on it, so I might be playing the lower difficulty and all that stuff too to get through it.
Okay.
I'm definitely going to be finishing up Resident Evil 7, and then picking up God of War 3 afterwards. And because once
God of War, just the
God of War, yeah,
not
sorry.
God of War 3.
Yeah,
just
sorry,
the
God of War
game.
Yeah, I don't know what version this one is because I know there's a bunch of ones that came up beforehand, but this one.
Mike, I just picked up God of War from Tyler's house. If you, if you decide that you don't want to spend the money for it, I will happily just mail it to you. Let me know. But decide if you want that or not.
I feel like I want to own my games, also because I think that's what also made me have a slower space with Resident Evil 7, since I didn't put the money into it.
It's pretty cheap these days.
Yeah,
honestly.
and I also want to give money to the developers too. I do appreciate that a lot, and I think that's a great. I think it's totally fine. I really want to give them money though, because I think it's a great quality game, and I think they deserve. I wanted to give them money and stuff. I want to support the developers because I want to see more games like that come out. So
Sure.
that's my only. That's the only reason why I want to do it. I appreciate the offer, and I really do. Thanks. And I might pick up another Resident Evil 7 myself too, just because I enjoyed it so much, and I feel like they deserve my money for it too. Just because I want to really support these developers because they are just nailing it out of the park, and I just it's one of those things that this is why I'm into video games. This is why video games are fucking awesome. It's because of these people, and so I'm like, I want to give you guys some money for that. But thank you for the offer though. But yeah, I'll be playing that. For movie wise, I don't really know. I really need all the movies I want to watch now. Got John Wick 3 out of the way. I got the Godzilla out of the way. I got It Chapter 2 out. I'm definitely probably be watching It 1 again this week, and so I'll probably be talking about that. And I really like to maybe step away where we have like a spoiler thing when more recent movies come out that we see in our games that we played at the end of the podcast. I don't know, it's be cool to talk about those too, because I really would like to dive more into Chapter 2, because I it's such a controversial movie, and like not like, oh, these are just like risque things, but just like what makes it good and what makes it like what's like all the bad stuff and all the good stuff in it. I'd love to dive into more of that.
I'd be down for that, but probably not this episode. Just
Obviously,
because
yeah,
we
no.
spent a lot of time kind of dancing. Like, we basically said that we said what we wanted to say, but we danced around specifics. If we were going to do that, we'd have to say, oh, what did you think about It Too? And then instead of spending, 20 minutes like we already did, you could say, oh, I thought it was, like a 8 out of 10. I thought this was good, that was good. If you want specifics, wait till the end of the podcast.
Oh yeah, we never gave our overall rating of that movie. What did you think of that? Like, what would you give that rating of It Chapter 2? Just a quick one.
It's going to be a lower one than yours, probably. I thought that a lot of the humor was misplaced. I'd give it probably a 6.5 or a 6 out of 10.
Oh no, that's fair. I'll give it like a 7, maybe. I think a straight 7 for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely, it's hard to. The movie was fine, but it didn't hold a candle to the first
Oh,
one.
not
The
even
first
close.
one was unbelievable.
But still, overall, good movie. I enjoyed it, and I would definitely. It's just because once again, it's 3 hours long. I didn't feel it. I didn't notice it, but it's not one of those movies you can just throw on. You just can't unless you make a whole day out of it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's like your day is that movie. But yeah.
I was going to say, so some simple headline news. The Tokyo Game Show was this weekend. There was a lot of cool things that came out of that. There's a new Final Fantasy Final Fantasy VII remake trailer that came out of that, and it's really cool. They summoned Ifrit in it. He looks fucking dope. There's also a 49-minute presentation of Death Stranding, and I gotta say, I was not really impressed with that game up until this trailer. Fucking hooked me. I'm so
Really?
excited for that game now.
Wow.
It looks so cool. Other things, games coming out. Zelda Link's Awakening, the Game Boy, another remastered. The Game Boy remaster coming out on the Nintendo Switch. That comes out on September 20th. That's 5 days away. That one looks super
love
cool.
it. After playing Breath of the Wild, I really want more Zelda too.
And then one last game is called Noita, Noita. It's basically a game where every pixel has density and like it's a 2D side scroller, but if you put a bomb on the world, the same way that when you used to play like Worms, like it would blow a hole in the earth, like that, the game does that as well, but everything has a certain weight and density to it, where like if you blow a hole into the side of like a pool of water, that water will like rush out and bring some of the dirt and stuff with it and everything, and it's just like a really pixelated game, but everything you can do with it seems really cool. You can cast poison and light the poison on fire, and then the poison will just rip the map apart, basically, because everything is affected. Like, everything has all the materials have like a character to them.
I'll have to look into
that. It looks
that.
fucking crazy. But anyway, so yeah, Zelda Link's Awakening and Noita come out. That's it for me. Did you have anything else, Mike?
No, I think that everything has been nailed.
Okay, well then one last thing I was going to say. Mike and I didn't discuss next week's top 5, but I was going to say that if, Mike, you're down for this, what if we just put it up to the audience? So if you're listening to this podcast right now, send us an email at overclockednews@gmail.com, and if we like your suggestion, then that'll be our next week's top 5.
I hate that idea. But let's do it.
It sucks.
No, I'm down for
Yeah.
that. I'm totally down for that. I'd love to hear that. I like that a lot. Let's do that. Let's go for it.
Yeah, and I mean, this isn't the most popular podcast. No surprises there. The last episode, I think, had about 10 views on it. So if you write us an email, there's a good chance we're probably going with yours. So
Yeah.
feel free to go for it.
Oh, man.
Make sure it's not dumbass, though. Make sure it's, like, at least half decent.
Not to toot our horns, though, but, like, our older podcasts from the first season got up maybe, some of them made, like, 200 views, apparently, which is nice.
Yeah, some of them did well.
But they didn't trade over to the other ones. But who
Mhm.
knows? Oh, yeah, absolutely, honestly, I would be overjoyed if anyone just even simply did that. That'd be great. Especially
Yeah,
since
and-
they got it to because they only did it because they made it to the end of the podcast. And you made it to this end of this podcast. I'm glad that we kept you entertained. That really makes me happy. So just getting an email like that would be incredible to me.
Agreed.
And,
But yeah, so a simple email, overclockednews@gmail.com. Mike, there's no spaces or like underscores or anything with that, right? It's just simply overclocked news, right?
I believe so. Yeah, you're the one who set that one up. I mean, that's
Fuck, you're right.
You're saying you're talking about your YouTube channel, by the way. Are you talking about We Can't Code?
Oh shit! Yeah. I'm sorry. We can't code @gmail.com. I am an idiot. This is why you don't dip your company in Penn's ink.
Oh, that's so good. Let me double check that for everyone out there. Yeah, We Can't Code, all one word, no spaces. There is no asterisk in the can't. It's just all one word. We Can't Code @gmail.com.
We're gonna repeat that one more time, just so it's because I was messing people up before. We can't code @gmail.com. Send us an email. Top 5. I don't know. I can't think of anything right now. Top 5 cows in games. Something better than that, please.
Yeah, anything you want. We'll have fun with it. It'll be a blast. Once again, it's just a pleasure knowing that you made it through all the way to the podcast. Because obviously you don't have to. I'm glad we enjoyed you that much or were that interesting. So on that note, once again, We Can't Code, all one word, no special symbols @gmail.com. And yeah, let's end it there. Thanks for listening.
We're at 2 hours 31 minutes. I'm done here. Goodbye.
See ya.
Bye.